mothers also yell at each other. Why? Because those women are not her responsibility. And that's why her TV is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
You might wonder, John Legend, how do you keep your voice sounding so legendary? Honey. And how do I keep my protection against COVID-19 up to date? With a COVID shot this season, designed for recent variants.
You can get your COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot if you're due for both, as recommended by the CDC.
The fresher, the better.
Ask your healthcare provider about getting this season's COVID-19 shot.
This summer, get outside and enjoy a quick round of golf at the Twin Lakes Golf Course in Palatine. Twin Lakes features an executive 9-hole golf course with a driving range, cafe, and pro shop. Just starting the game, lessons are available. Take a couple of hours for yourself and stop at the Twin Lakes Rec Area off Northwest Highway and hit the links. For a tee time, call 847-934-6050. Bender Dental Care, located at 217 North McLean Boulevard in Elgin. Bender Dental wants everyone to be informed, appreciated, and cared for at all times. To prove it, they now offer a new patient exam for just $29. That includes consult, x-ray, exam, and cleaning. Let Bender Dental help you have healthy teeth and gums for a lifetime. Located at 217 North McLean Boulevard in Elgin. Visit benderdentalcare.com. Located in the heart of Wisconsin Dells on beautiful Lake Delton, the Delton Oaks Resort offers a classic Wisconsin family vacation. It's an on-the-lake experience with available cabins, villas, and studio condos, all with home-style comforts and amenities. And extra space for family gatherings, reunions, and small groups. With a private sandy beach and dock, you can splash around, swim, and boat to your heart's content. There's a pontoon boat, kayak rentals, fire pit and barbecue grills are available for use for registered guests. Book your stay and enjoy all the Ultimate Dells experience, with bonus passes to Noah's Ark Water Park. From s'mores to oars, Delton Oaks Resort has something for everyone. Visit DeltonOaksResort.com. That's DeltonOaksResort.com.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers. So we build specially adapted homes at Homes for Our Troops. And thanks to our donors and supporters, this life-changing gift of freedom is provided mortgage-free to these veterans. But we need you to join us too in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Discover the authentic taste of Italy at Mazziano's Pizza and Pastaria at Route 20 in Nestler in Elgin. There is one true fact of everyday life that never dulls: the simple pleasure of eating great Italian food. At Mazziano's, they'll make sure your dinner or lunch will be the best part of your day. Whether you have a taste for pizza or any of Mazziano's homemade Italian recipes, like ravioli or lasagna, they can also cater your party. Enjoy it any way you like: delivery, carry-out, or dine-in. Visit Mazzianos.com. It is 6:08 on a Wednesday morning. It is 9/11. Never forget, and welcome to Studio 14 in downtown Elgin, where it's time for the first shift. I'm Marky B reporting. And our first shift, live from the heart of the Fox River Valley, begins with our Pledge of Allegiance and our national anthem. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And a good Wednesday morning to you from WRMN and from the, what are we? I forgot what network we're called. How about from WRMN? We'll start with that. Good morning.
Welcome to the first shift, right here on the Voice of the Valley, WRMN AM 1410 and 96.7 FM. Don't get that excited. I'm only introducing Marky B. Exactly. Featuring local news and sports, your Fox Valley forecast, and local traffic twice an hour at 15 and 45 minutes past. Timely interviews, a radio shopping show preview, milestones and memories, and born on dates of the lates and greats, Elgin trivia, and all of your phone calls, texts, and Facebook comments as part of the staff meeting. The First Shift is the most informative, entertaining, and interactive morning show in all of the Fox River Valley and beyond.
You liar!
Well, okay. At least it makes great background noise, whether you're at work, in the car, or at home.
Whatever.
Your host, Marky B, maintains an upbeat attitude every day despite the fact that he's saddled with an overall lack of talent, a delusioned ego, and false hope for a bright future.
Loser.
Yeah, he's pretty much a loser. But at least he tries. Welcome to Studio 14 in downtown Elgin for the First Shift on WRMN AM 1410 and 96.7 FM.
How's it going? It's 11 past 6 here at WRMN, AM 1410, and whatever network we are. The Fox River Valley Media Network. That's the Fox River Valley Media Network. Loser. It's early. It's early and I was running around, so forgive me. We'll get it under control. It's a good day. It's a Wednesday. It's going to be a warm day. Welcome to the first shift here at WRMN. It is 9/11 today. So right off the bat in a few minutes, because a lot of these ceremonies here on 9/11 are taking place early in the morning. So if you want to get out and about and pay tribute properly and stop at one of the ceremonies, if that's the right word, going on this morning, then you probably need to know pretty quickly where they are if you don't. So I'll take a few minutes here in a few minutes and let you know some places you might be able to stop this morning for 9/11. One of which is the Hemmons, and that is at 9 o'clock. The Hemmons is in downtown Elgin, or close to downtown Elgin. And we're going to have a nice little downtown Elgin type ceremony this morning over at the Hemmons. So it starts at 9. We're planning on trying to carry it here on WRMN. Hopefully that'll work out okay. I got permission from the Elgin Fire Department to use their Facebook feed. So it's actually going to be streamed live on the Elgin Fire Department's Facebook page. And Chief Rob Soggin said, yep, you can put that on the radio if you want to. So that's the plan. And hopefully, technically, that'll be okay. I don't see why that would be so hard. So we're going to shoot for that at 9 o'clock this morning as a part of the first shift today. Let's check the forecast for the next couple of days as we make our way to the back half of the week. It's been a nice week so far. It's going to continue today. If you're a fan of the hotter weather, then today will be more your style. We're in the mid-50s this morning. It's still nice and cool outside right now. Fair skies and 54. Winds are calm, and I am now. Mostly sunny skies with a high of about 85 today. Partly cloudy and 54 tonight. Looking ahead to your Thursday, mostly sunny with a high of 86. So warm today and tomorrow, 85 and 86. We're still at 82 for Friday with a mostly cloudy day. And then the weekend, lower 80s, so not much weather change. Saturday, a slight chance of an isolated shower in the afternoon, otherwise mostly cloudy, with a high of 82 degrees. That would be on Saturday. And then coming up on Sunday, a chance of showers, otherwise partly sunny, and a high of 83. Nice weekend coming up. 6:15 here at WRMN on September the 11th. Patriots Day, I guess, is the official name of it now, and also the day after the big debate that millions, or as Donald Trump would say, billions and billions of people watched last night. Billions and billions, or millions? Whatever the case is, a lot of people watched it. And we'd like to open up the phone lines to get your thoughts this morning when Larry gets here. Larry will be here between 7 and 9. I'm talking about local legend Larry Jones, the owner of a Best in Show car from America's First Responders Fest last Saturday. Larry will be in, and we can talk about your thoughts on the debate last night. I watched all the way until the closing statements. It was 9:30. It was my bedtime, and I decided not to watch the closing statements last night. But I watched all of it up until then. And so we'll see what you have to say, and I'll give you my general thoughts that I was thinking about as I was watching the debate. Number to call during the show today is 847-931-1410. That's 847-931-1410. That's between 7 and 9. We're going to try to carry the Elgin ceremony going on at 9 o'clock over at the Hemmons. And then after that, whatever time we have left on the show, maybe we'll play a couple songs for you and work in some First Shift 411. I have quite a bit of new First Shift 411, general information around the area about things going on that I can also share with you later in the show. Today is also the day after the 75th anniversary celebration, WRMN. It wasn't we didn't want to make too big a deal about it, but we had a nice lunchtime show yesterday where we announced that we've been around for 75 years. September the 10th, 1949, George Ralston and Jerry Miller founded this very radio station. And over the 75 years, we've seen lots of changes. Obviously, in the community and in the world of broadcasting, lots of changes. But one thing that has remained constant, our commitment to you, our listeners, and to the Fox River Valley. And we're stronger. I'm not going to say stronger than ever, but we're strong, and we're making a good comeback for those who want to hear community radio again. We're on our way to be stronger than ever. It is 6:18, so we can reflect on that a little bit on the show as well this morning. 75 years of WRMN now officially underway. It is 6:18. Also coming up on the show today, I will check some of the news stories that I've been tracking in the last 24 hours. There was an arrest made in the shots fired weapons investigation on the 400 block of Addison Street in Elgin. I'll give you a few details about that this hour. An arrest has been made. Some other crime times, a slap on the wrist in Cary. You decide. If we have a chance, we'll get into that crime time a little bit. We will chat about the political heavyweight championship of politics. Maybe some local politics if you want to go there. Yesterday on the station, we had both Kane County State's Attorney Jamie Mosser and Madam Chair Corinne Pirog from Kane County. She is the chair of the Kane County Board. Both on the show live yesterday, both here in studio, as a matter of fact, not together. Jamie Mosser was on my show on the First Shift from 8 until 9 yesterday. And Madam Chair Pirog was on with Sonar on a political talk show in the 5 o'clock hour yesterday. So oftentimes when we have those types of guests, I get text messages from those who enjoy the interview, or those who think the person that was being interviewed told lies, perhaps. If you're one of those people, you're always welcome to call with Larry and myself. You don't have to wait until that particular interview is on or over. It's always your turn on our show. So just bring up the topic you want to talk about, and we'll talk about it. I was here for Jamie Mosser's interview, obviously, and I listened to the interview with the Madam Chair on a political talk show in the 5 o'clock hour yesterday. It is 6:20 here at WRMN, so that's something we also can talk about. We had apparently a drunken or drugged up or both school bus driver in Lombard that we can talk about a little bit. That always puts the parents' minds at ease, right, when they know there might be a drunken school bus driver out there. We have Bartlett residents stealing out of mailboxes. Clever idea, or not. And other news stories, too. So chime in with us this morning between 7 and 9, and I'll share what I have with you this hour. It's 6:21 here at WRMN. All right, let me go ahead and share with you a few things going on this morning, because some of them are taking place very early. In fact, the first one I want to mention is in Gilbert's. If you're in that area, this is the one that's coming up. No, this is actually tonight, so never mind. I thought it was 7 a.m. this morning. Some of these are at 7 p.m. tonight. In St. Charles, they're having a remembrance ceremony at 7:30 this morning. So if you're in the St. Charles area, it is outside the fire department at 2 East Main Street in St. Charles. The ceremony includes the posting the fire department memorial flag, placing the memorial wreath, and observing a moment of silence. There will also be a 21-gun salute by local veterans and an invocation. And that's this morning in St. Charles at 7:30. So you have about an hour and 8 minutes if you want to catch that one. It's at 2 East Main Street by the fire department in St. Charles. At 8:30 a.m., Bartlett is having a memorial ceremony at the fire station number 1 in Bartlett at 234 North Oak Avenue. It includes remarks from members of the fire district and the posting of the colors by the Honor Guard. You can go to facebook.com/BartlettFire for more information. Facebook.com/BartlettFire. That's at 8:30 this morning, fire station number 1, 234 North Oak Avenue in Bartlett. Carpentersville is having a remembrance ceremony also at 8:30 this morning. If you're up north, Carpentersville at the fire station number 91 at 213 Spring Street. Join the Carpentersville Fire Department in the 23rd anniversary of the National Day of Service and Remembrance. Go to Village of Carpentersville Public Safety on Facebook for more information. Village of Carpentersville Public Safety on Facebook. So we have 8:30 in Carpentersville, 8:30 in Bartlett, 7:30 this morning in St. Charles. Schaumburg is also having a ceremony at 8:30 this morning at the Memorial Fire Station number 51 at 950 West Schaumburg Road. Fire and police personnel, village staff, and elected officials want to honor the memories of the fallen with a last alarm bell ceremony, Amazing Grace on bagpipes, and 3 volley salute and taps by VFW Post 2202. villageofschaumburg.com for more information. villageofschaumburg.com. That's this morning at 8:30 in Schaumburg. So those are some of the festivities here in the area. Hemmons this morning at 9. Here in downtown Elgin, if you are around here. And the Hemmons, if you're familiar with Elgin at all, you know where it is. I don't have the rest of the information handy at this time, but right here in the downtown Elgin area, I know that we're going to have Mayor Dave Captain speaking along with Elgin Police Chief Anna Lally, Elgin Fire Chief Rob Sagan, and Elgin American Legion Post 57 Commander Mark Smith, all going to be taking the stage and making some remarks this morning at the Hemmons Auditorium starting at 9 o'clock. We are going to try to carry that live right here on WRMN late in the first shift today. So stay tuned if you can't make it. Understandable. A lot of you have to work or be at home or be somewhere else, but you can catch it on the Elgin Fire Department Facebook page or right here on WRMN. All right, 6:25. We'll hit the bottom of the hour news coming up in just a couple of moments. Every day on the show, I like to play some tunes for you. And this week in music history, and I heard Tammy play the Supremes version of the song yesterday on her show. That was the original. But on the 10th of September, this week, yesterday in 1988, Phil Collins was at number 1 on the UK singles chart with A Groovy Kind of Love. Phil Collins was in the news twice on this day in history because, let's see, in 1966, the Supremes started a 2-week run at number 1 on the US singles chart with You Can't Hurry Love, the group's 6th US number 1. And it gave Phil Collins a UK number 1 hit in 1982. Since Tammy took the Supremes version yesterday, I thought I'd go with the Phil Collins version today because it's also a very good version. Takes us into the bottom of the hour news. It's Phil Collins on the first shift on a Wednesday right here on WRMN.
Honey, love, love, ooh, ease my mind. And I need to find time, someone to call mine. My mama said you can't hurry, love. No, you just have to wait. She said love don't come easy, but it's a game of give and take. You can't hurry, love. No, you just have to wait. Just trust in the good time, no matter how long it takes. How many heartaches must I stand before I find the love to let me live again? Right now the only thing that keeps me hanging on, when I feel my strength, ooh, it's almost gone. Remember mama said, hurry love, no, you just have to wait. She said love don't come easy, it's a game of give and take. How long must I wait? How much more must I take before loneliness will cause my heart to break? No, I can't bear to live my life alone. I've grown impatient for love to call my own. But when I feel that I can't go on, when these precious words keep me hanging on, I remember mama said, hurry love, no, you just have to wait. She said love don't come easy, well it's a game of give and take. You can't hurry love, no, you just have to wait. Just trust in the good time, no matter how long it takes. And I break. Now love, love, it don't come easy, but I keep on waiting, anticipating for that soft voice to talk to me at night, for some tender arms, hold me tight. I keep waiting, ooh, till that day, but it ain't easy, love. You know it ain't easy. My mama said you can't hurry, love. No, you just have to wait. She said love don't come easy, but it's a game of give and take. You can't hurry, love. No, you just have to wait. She said love don't come easy.
It's a game of give and take. You know what? That's a pretty good version by Phil Collins right there. He did a nice job on that one. 629, he did a nice job on many, many songs. The great Phil Collins. I can call him the great Phil Collins, right? I think so. All right, we have 54 degrees. We're headed for a high of 85. Plenty of sunshine on the way. Let's check some bottom of the hour news. 6:30 on the first shift. Good morning.
With your 1410 WRMN Newsflash, I'm Sean Kernan. Brought to you by Sky Rizzy. Elgin is set to commemorate Patriot Day with a solemn remembrance ceremony September 11th at the Hemmons Cultural Center. The event is scheduled to begin at 9 a.m. and will feature the Elgin Fire Department, Elgin Police Department, and honored guests presenting flags. Participants will be treated to a rendition of the national anthem by Larkin High School students, heartfelt remarks from city officials, and representatives of the American Legion Post 57. In an effort to address the educational needs of Americans without a four-year college degree, Illinois is receiving an $8 million boost from the Apprenticeships Build America grants. The funding is part of a $244 million initiative by the U.S. Department of Labor. 57-year-old David R. Glass facing severe legal repercussions after being charged with multiple felonies related to child pornography. The McHenry County Sheriff's Office, in collaboration with the Illinois Attorney General's Office, charging Glass with 10 counts of reproducing or selling child pornography and 10 counts of possession. With your 1410 WRMN Newsflash, I'm Sean Kernan.
What's better than one win? 3 wins. With Straight Savings, you keep your own phone, get one line for only $25 a month with real unlimited data, and get rewarded with a $200 phone credit after 12 months. It's a win-win-win. Head to Walmart or visit straighttalk.com today. Switch to Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Straight Savings Plan enrollment requires compatible unlocked device and new line of service. Bonus device credit requires 12 months of active service. Offer ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. Taxes and fees apply. For network management practices, see Straight Talk's terms and conditions.
Progressive presents Renters MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Tom Kelly's carbon fiber mountain bike. Because more than riding his carbon fiber mountain bike, Tom loves telling people about his carbon fiber mountain bike. Friends, family, even a local barista knows about his carbon fiber mountain bike. And that's why Tom's carbon fiber mountain bike, if you haven't heard about it, is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Progressive presents the Sports Flash on News Talk Radio 1410 WRMN. Cubs pounded the Dodgers 10-4 at Dodger Stadium. Chicago took a 3-0 lead out of the first. Michael Busch 4 for 5 with a homer. He scored 3 runs. Cody Bellinger had 3 RBI, including a 2-run homer. The Cubs offense broke out for 16 hits. Every player got at least 1. The Cubs look to extend a 2-game winning streak tonight when the series continues. Chicago 5 games out of a National League wild card spot.
High and deep to center. Back on it is Robert. This one's gone. Home run, Bo Naylor.
Guardians radio 5-3 the win over the White Sox. Loss number 112 for the Sox, who suffered their franchise record 13th consecutive home loss and 15th in their last 17 games overall. The Sox approaching the Major League modern record for most losses in a season that was set by the Mets in 1962 with 120.
Bundle auto and home, renters or condo, and save with Progressive.
I'm Chuck Sanders on News Talk Radio 1410 WRMN.
Everybody. Great job. Next up for our 5th grade class recital, we have Samantha.
10 times better performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge Motor Oil gives your engine 10 times better high-stress performance. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance. Now through December 28th, Castrol Edge and Edge High Mileage Motor Oil are on rollback at Walmart.
Claim based on sequence 9 test under high-load conditions versus API-SP test limits.
Progressive presents Renters MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Joe Fallon's bedroom mini fridge. Sure, this pint-sized chiller's max capacity is 3 soda cans, but what it lacks in stature, it makes up in cooling strength. Each beverage a perfect 37 degrees every time. And the 2 feet Joe walks to get a drink, priceless. That's why his mini fridge is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
.634 here at WRMN. Hey, you know. That news was old. Hey, I know that. But I've tried to load in the new news a couple of times today, and it hasn't changed. So I don't think it's on me today. I think it might be on them, not updating their news. So the sports was more noticeable. The Cubs actually won last night, again, over the Dodgers, 6-3. 2 straight wins for the Cubs on the West Coast in L.A. More than likely too little too late, but the Cubs are now back to 5 games above 500 at 75-70. 3 straight wins now, 1 against the Yankees and 2 against the Dodgers. White Sox, it doesn't matter. And other than that, not really any sports going on last night to my knowledge. We'll get geared up for another football weekend. Yes, I have it around here somewhere. It might still be on the printer. I made a pick 6 sheet. It's not 100% finished yet. The games are all on there, but the rules aren't all on there because the rules aren't all made yet. The way to go about filling out and doing your picks online and things of that nature, we have to make a final decision on that, hopefully today, so I can give you some direct directions on how to fill out your picks. But I'm going to go ahead and print out some sheets. I'll have them available here at the radio station, and then we are going to have probably the more official way of doing it this year will be online. I chatted yesterday with Mr. Karras over at Rookies and Village Squire and Alexander's and Old Republic. It'll be officially a Rookies gift card, but you can use it at all 4 of those restaurants. And when I say I chatted, we texted. He started it. So don't even think about it, Dino. Don't even think about saying, why didn't you just call the man? Apparently he likes to text. So we texted back and forth, and I'm going over to Village Squire this afternoon to pick up the gift cards. I believe they're going to be $25 in value, which would be up $5 from last year. Maybe I should test one and see if that's true. $25 in value. And the Village Squire is the closest to my house, so I'm going to pick them up there. And that'll be the Rookies Pick 6 contest. I'll give you the games with Larry Jones here in a little bit since I don't have the sheet in front of me. And we'll get ready for Friday. I'll make my picks, and Larry will make his picks, and Jakes will make his picks, and Tim Calderwood. And you can make your picks, too, for a chance to win a $25 gift card all through the season. From Rookies and WRMN. Rookies, of course, has all the games. And I'm proud to announce that a couple of our other partners are going to have all the games this year, too, especially on Sundays, like the Moose Lodge, $7.99 on McLean Boulevard. And, of course, our friends RK's Bar and Grill. So depending upon where you are, what kind of a mood you're in, kind of place you feel like hanging out at, there are some great partners of ours that you can go watch football at this season. Rookies, the sponsor of the Pick 6. Moose Lodge, partner of ours with America's First Responders Fest. And RK's Bar and Grill, just a general partners of ours in general. They've been giving us gift cards for a long time. We've done live shows from over there. We've had little parties over there, lunches over there, and they are also big supporters of America's First Responders Fest. Carrie and Rick and the family of good friends and people over at RK's Bar and Grill, Route 31. 6:38 here at WRMN on 9/11. Check news for you here in a moment. We are on YouTube, by the way, if you want to chime in this morning at WRMN Radio on YouTube. I'll go over some of the comments here in just a few moments. And I'll share some news stories with you as well. And then Larry's already here. He's roaming around the hallways. Probably going to go outside and sit with Gina for a few minutes at the executive table outside, which is a nice morning to sit outside. It's nice and cool out right now. You might need a sweatshirt or a light jacket. It's in the 50s, but you won't need that sweatshirt or jacket later as we hit a high of at least 85 today. 6:39 here at WRMN. All right. Let me check the dumb daily holidays today first so I get those in, or at least to get the important ones in. And certainly one that is not dumb. Sometimes they're dumb, sometimes they're meaningful. But today we have meaningful dumb daily holidays like National Emergency Responders Day here on 9/11. Trained to respond to a wide range of emergencies, emergency responders are some of the first to arrive at the scenes of natural disasters, accidents, and terrorist attacks. They include people such as paramedics, emergency medical technicians, police officers, and firefighters. And because of the trauma they encounter, they must be strong physically and mentally. And we celebrate and honor all of those first responders who keep us safe in the many lines of duty that they serve. National Emergency Responders Day takes place on the 11th of September, the anniversary of the largest terrorist attack in American history. Emergency responders were many of the first to arrive at the locations of the attacks. Many lost their lives that day and continue to feel the day's effects decades later, making it appropriate that we honor them on this anniversary of 9/11, the 23rd. Of the 2,977 who were killed that day, 412, it says here, were emergency workers who responded to the World Trade Center. And of those, 343 were New York City firefighters and paramedics. We will never forget, and we shouldn't. And it's National Emergency Responders Day today. Let's see. I guess it's also National No News is Good News Day. And I guess we had so much bad news on 9/11/2001 that a no news day is actually a good news day sometimes, right? National No News is Good News Day. Doesn't say much about that because I guess there's no news to report, but there actually is some news to report here on the show today. And it's Remember Freedom Day, too. Remember Freedom Day here on September the 11th. So some of our holidays. It's 6:42 here at WRMN. Let's head to YouTube for a moment. And it's the Beehive Bar and Grill, and check out a couple of our comments today. The Big Boss Man is first in on YouTube today. He says, good morning, Marky B and Larry. Have a great day from the Big Boss Man. Sending us 20 prayers to our prayer scoreboard. Becky Blue Eyes checking in. Good morning, Becky. Happy Wednesday, First Shifters. Have an awesome day with plenty of sunshine from me to you, Becky Blue. And she sends us, gosh knows, 15 rays of sunshine to our sunshine scoreboard if we had one. All right, good morning to Captain Keith, Senior Engineer, Elgin High, class of 1978, back when life was great and I was 8. Have a great Wednesday, Shifters. All shifters matter in the eyes of the captain. And we have Crazy Kathy in early this morning. She has nothing to say but exclamation marks on YouTube early this morning. She'll probably have something else to say later. That's the way she is. Certified checking in. Let's win this day with exclamation marks. 6:43 here at WRMN. We also have an Image 360 information line that you can send text to this morning at 505-926-1410. That's 505-926-1410. We need to put a little sign in front of the microphone or in front of the screen that Tammy can see. She has trouble remembering that number. 505-926-1410. I don't think Tammy's much on numbers. I'm just saying. Yesterday, early on her show, she said, yeah, today we celebrated the 75th anniversary of the radio station, which was first went on the air in 1947. And I thought to myself, being the math guy that I am, 2024 minus 75 is not 1947. It's 1949. So I had to run in here and say, Tammy, 1949. Nice math, Tammy. The Image 360 information lines, 505-926-1410. Image 360 in South Elgin, 506 Sundown. Bold Solutions, exceptional support. Speaking of support, CK's here. From CK and the Sunshine Band, comforting Kathleen. Put her on the Hawker's Log this morning at 6:44. She joins Gina on the Hawker's Log today. All right, what else here? Well, let's get into a couple of news stories for you, and then maybe we'll check a couple of the comments on the Image 360 information line. I mentioned earlier a couple of the events that are taking place early this morning here in the Fox River Valley. The first one at St. Charles at 7:30 this morning at the fire station at 2 East Main Street in St. Charles. And then there's a couple at 8:30, one in Carpentersville. In Carpentersville, at Carpentersville Fire Station number 91. That's the place where you can vote. In Carpentersville, 213 Spring Street. Can't vote today, though. Also in Bartlett at 8:30 this morning, at Fire Station number 1 at 234 North Oak Avenue. Those are the early ones. And then, of course, Elgin, 9 a.m., Hemmons. We'll try to carry that for you right here on WRMN. Now, if you want to go somewhere later in the day or after work, there are some options, too. ECC, Elgin Community College, is having a remembrance event. That's actually later this morning. It's not tonight. It's later this morning. So if you have a mid-morning break, 10:30 until 11. Outside of Building B on Elgin Community College's main campus at 1700 Spartan Drive. Gather to pay respect, remember the impact of the day, and unite in a shared commitment to resilience and peace. Resilience, a good word. Resilience, I like that word. Elgin.edu for more information. That's elgin.edu. ECC having a remembrance event this morning at 10:30 outside of Building B on the campus. 7 o'clock tonight at the St. Peter Lutheran Church in Gilbert's at 18 North 377 Galligan Road, Gilbert's, followed by a dessert reception open to the community. Go to St. Peter Lutheran Gilbert's on Facebook for more information. St. Peter Lutheran Gilbert's. Dessert afterwards, a dessert reception, and a 7 o'clock presentation. Streamwood tonight at 7 o'clock. It's a Streamwoods Veterans Memorial at 301 East Irving Park Road. The Veterans Memorial Commission with the Streamwood Police and Fire Departments have a remembrance planned for the innocent victims, civilians, police officers, firefighters, and emergency medical personnel who perished September 11th, 2001. Streamwood.org for more information. That's streamwood.org. Hoffman Estates, the Hoffman, later this afternoon at 4 o'clock, they're having a ceremony at the Hoffman Estates Village Hall at 1900 Hassel Road. The Village's Veterans Commission hosting a memorial ceremony to remember and honor all of those who tragically lost their lives as a result of terrorist attacks in New York City, Washington, D.C., and Shanksville, Pennsylvania. Go to hoffmanestates.org for more information. hoffmanestates.org. It's in the Hoffman this afternoon at 4 o'clock. All right, so that's the list of the most local ceremonies that I have for you today. And we're going to try to carry the Hemmons ceremony this morning right here on WRMN at about 9 o'clock. There are some weekend festivals. Heritage Fest in Dundee. La Fiesta de Elgin, which would be in Elgin. St. Charles having a big jazz fest this weekend. So I'll share some of those choices maybe later on in the 9 o'clock hour if we get back to a little first shift 411. It's 6:49 here at WRMN. What time is it? You got it. It's crime time. Crime time. Elgin follow-up. EPD number 2024-57516. over. September the 9th, 5:21 p.m. Day before yesterday, officers responded to the 400 block of Addison Street for a dispute and a report of shots fired. Upon arrival, officers began a preliminary investigation in which an airsoft gun and firearm were recovered. Detectives from the Major Investigations Division responded to the scene, and multiple subjects were interviewed. Subsequently, a second firearm was recovered, and detectives confirmed that shots were fired during the incident. No injuries reported in that incident. However, 45-year-old Alex Diaz Quintanilla of the 400 block of Addison Street was taken into custody without incident, and the case was reviewed by the Kane County State's Attorney's Office, who authorized the following charges against Alex Diaz Quintanilla. 2 counts of aggravated discharge of a firearm, Class 1 felony. 2 counts of possession of a firearm with no FOID card, Class 3 felony. Mr. Diaz Quintanilla was transported to the Kane County Jail for a pre-trial detention hearing. The judge ordered Mr. Diaz Quintanilla to be detained. Detained, pending a future court date. I spoke with Kane County State's Attorney Jamie Mosser yesterday on the show about that. Who's detained, who's not detained. There's like 10 categories that are up to the judge to make a decision on based on criminal history, how aggravated the situation was, things of that nature. Very interesting gray territory that the judges have to work with. But in this particular case, maybe Mr. Diaz Quintanilla has a past that warrants him being detained. Or maybe this crime was just bad enough. 6:52. You're at WRMN AM 1410 and WRMN Radio on YouTube. More crime time. Hey, the ladies are headed to breakfast. I forgot about that. They're going to head to breakfast with Miss Myrna this morning. Y'all have a good breakfast. 6:52. You're on WRMN, so the executive table may be a bit bare for a while this morning. There's a seat there for you if you want one. One more crime time. You know what? Nah. Let's get to a few comments. 6:52. You're at WRMN as we get towards the end of this hour. The Sultan of South Elgin says, good morning, y'all. Never forget 9/11. God bless the souls and families of those we lost on that terrible day. The Sultan of South Elgin speaks, and some people might listen. Dennis D. Not So Young checks in. Good morning, first shifters. Have a great day from the Nightmare on Elm Street. Dennis D. Not So Young. Maybe we'll see you tonight, Dennis D. Not So Young, at the American Legion Post 57 for the car cruise going on this evening. The final one of the American Legion's car cruise season. I think I'm going to try to make that tonight for a while and hang out and on what should be a nice evening here on the east side of Elgin. Hector checks in this morning and says, good morning, Marky B and the first shifters from Hector. Ninny Rose, Jeremiah, Uncle Boom Boom in the house. 3 prayers from the Soto family. And 3 thumbs up. 6:54 here at WRMN. To the Image 360 information line we go. We say good morning to Linda Carter. She opens the office doors. That's her new place to chime in first every day. Linda Carter, Linda Carter, Linda Carter. Linda Carter sending us a pile of prayers early this morning. 15 prayers, let's say, to the prayer scoreboard. We have 38 prayers on the prayer scoreboard this morning so far. Nando checking in. Good morning, Nando. Happy Taco Tuesday, says Nando. He checked in this morning at 3:43, but it's Wednesday, I believe, so you're a day late. You might be $1 short. I haven't looked in your wallet, Nando. But nice try anyway to say good morning. Good morning, Nando. over there on National Street listening in. And let's see. Downtown Jose checked in this morning at 3:59 a.m., right before he got to work over at the warehouse. He works over at San Filippo, I believe, on Randall Road. Marky B and First Shifters, have a great day from downtown Jose. 39th prayer to the prayer scoreboard. And Norm checks in. Norm says, good morning, Marky B, Larry, and First Shifters. Have a great day. Today from Norm. 4 more prayers. 43 on the prayer scoreboard. Blackhawks Brad chimed in this morning, and I only got 2 of the 3 lines done in the haiku. The word of the day is levity. Levity, lack of appropriate seriousness or earnestness. We always try to have a little levity on this show with Larry and myself, and we'll see what we can do in the next couple of hours. Or we can just be all serious. 1 thumbs up from Blackhawks Brad. Also a prayer. The American flag flies over the fabulous Fox River, and so does the eagle. It's a Blackhawks Brad. All right, what else do I have here to announce? We have to stamp the show. Tony Cool chimes in, lets us know this is staff meeting 172 of the year, which would be 1,129 since we started counting. The 172nd staff meeting of this year is underway. Brought to you by Comfort Keepers of Elgin. Let's win this day, says Tony Cool. I think it's a great idea. The 172nd staff meeting of the year. 6:57. Well, Nando, you got the day wrong. I feel bad for you. It's not Taco Tuesday, but because I feel bad for you, we'll go on to the top of the hour with a song dedicated to you. This is a song by ABBA. This is a song that I don't think my friend George likes too much, but I kind of like it. ABBA was back on the charts on this day in music history from 1982. Oh, wait. 2021. They were back on the charts for the first time in almost 40 years. I screwed up that intro, didn't I? It's ABBA.
I remember long ago another starry night like this. In the firelight, Fernando, you were humming to yourself and softly strumming your guitar. I could hear the distant drums and sounds of bugle calls were coming from afar. They were close now, Fernando. Every hour, every minute seemed to last eternally. I was so afraid, Fernando. We were young and full of life, and none of us prepared to die. And I'm not ashamed to say the roar of guns and cannons almost made me cry. There was something in the air that night. The stars were bright, Fernando. They were shining there for you and me, for liberty, Fernando. Though we never
Car's coolant system in good shape with a regular flush is really important. Let the experts at Meineke Car Care Center at 376 Sundown Road in South Elgin remove your old coolant, preventing chemical buildups in your engine. Then they'll fill your entire system with new coolant to help your engine run smoothly and prevent rust and corrosion, increasing your engine's lifespan. To schedule your appointment, call 847-888-9644.
Beef Villa's 3 locations offer much more than their signature Italian beef. Try the Italian sausage, roasted chicken, and more. There's a big variety of delicious side dishes. Beef Villa uses quality ingredients from homemade recipes, and they purchase top-of-the-quality food products from their vendors to bring you the absolute best tasting of foods. Beef Villa's great service and quality are waiting for you, but you won't be waiting long because it's always hot and fresh. Visit beefvilla.com.
Your hometown radio station since 1949. We are WRMN AM 1410, Elgin time, 7 o'clock.
With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Kernan. Brought to you by the U.S. Postal Service. In an effort to address the educational needs of Americans without a four-year college degree, Illinois is receiving an $8 million boost from the Apprenticeships Build America grants. The funding is part of a $244 million initiative by the U.S. Department of Labor. 57-year-old David R. Glass, facing severe legal repercussions after being charged with multiple felonies related to child pornography, the McHenry County Sheriff's Office, in collaboration with the Illinois Attorney General's Office, charging Glass with 10 counts of reproducing or selling child pornography and 10 counts of possession. Elgin is set to commemorate Patriot Day with a solemn remembrance ceremony September 11th at the Hemmons Cultural Center. The event is scheduled to begin at 9 a.m. and will feature the Elgin Fire Department, Elgin Police Department, and honored guests presenting flags. Participants will be treated to a rendition of the national anthem by Larkin High School students, heartfelt remarks from city officials, and representatives of the American Legion Post 57. With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Kernan.
What's better than one win? 3 wins. With Straight Savings, you keep your own phone, get one line for only $25 a month with real unlimited data, and get rewarded with a $200 phone credit after 12 months. It's a win-win-win. Head to Walmart or visit straighttalk.com today. Switch to Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Straight Savings Plan enrollment requires compatible unlocked device and new line of service. Bonus device credit requires 12 months of active service. Offer ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. Taxes and fees apply. For network management practices, see Straight Talk's terms and conditions.
Progressive presents Renter's MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Tom Kelly's carbon fiber mountain bike. Because more than riding his carbon fiber mountain bike, Tom loves telling people about his carbon fiber mountain bike. Friends, family, even a local barista knows about his carbon fiber mountain bike. And that's why Tom's carbon fiber mountain bike, if you haven't heard about it, is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
The lightest, fluffiest pancakes are calling your name at JoJo's Diner, 1935 West Gulf Road in Schaumburg. JoJo's has a huge breakfast menu featuring skillets, eggs Benedict, and so much more. Don't stop at breakfast. JoJo's also offers great burgers, sandwiches, and shakes. And for mouth-watering prime rib, try JoJo's for dinner. They have such a versatile menu. JoJo's Diner is family-owned and operated, and it's one of Schaumburg's best-kept secrets. Visit jojosdiner.com today.
This summer, get outside and enjoy a quick round of golf at the Twin Lakes Golf Course in Palatine. Twin Lakes features an executive 9-hole golf course with a driving range, cafe, and pro shop. Just starting the game, lessons are available. Take a couple of hours for yourself and stop at the Twin Lakes Rec area off Northwest Highway and hit the links. For a tee time, call 847-934-6050.
Progressive presents the Sports Flash on News Talk Radio 1410 WRMN.
High and deep to center. Back on it is Robert. This one's gone. Home run, Bo Naylor.
Guardians Radio 5-3 the win over the White Sox. Loss number 112 for the Sox, who suffered their franchise record 13th consecutive home loss and 15th in their last 17 games overall. The Sox approaching the Major League modern record for most losses in a season that was set by the Mets in 1962 with 120. The Cubs pounded the Dodgers 10-4 at Dodger Stadium. Chicago took a 3-0 lead out of the first. Michael Busch 4 for 5 with a homer. He scored 3 runs. Cody Bellinger had 3 RBI, including a 2-run homer. The Cubs offense broke out for 16 hits. Every player got at least 1. The Cubs look to extend a 2-game winning streak tonight when the series continues. Chicago 5 games out of a National League wild card spot.
Bundle auto and home, renters or condo, and save with Progressive.
I'm Chuck Sanders on News Talk Radio 1410 WRMN.
Timmy, everybody. Great job. Next up for our 5th grade class recital, we have Samantha.
10 times better performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge Motor Oil gives your engine 10 times better high-stress performance. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance. Now through December 28th, Castrol Edge and Edge High Mileage Motor Oil are on rollback at Walmart.
Claim based on sequence 9 test under high-load conditions versus API SP test limits.
Progressive presents Renter's MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Joe Fallon's bedroom mini fridge. Sure, this pint-sized chiller's max capacity is 3 soda cans, but what it lacks in stature, it makes up in cooling strength. Each beverage a perfect 37 degrees every time. And the 2 feet Joe walks to get a drink, priceless. That's why his mini fridge is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your
political party poopers got you down? Shake it off and join me, Dennis Sonar Green, every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m. on WRMN for A Political Talk Show, where we cut through the doom and gloom with a focus on America first, constitutional values, and a populist perspective that puts you, the citizen, at the center of the conversation. At WRMN, the talk of the town, we're not afraid to challenge the status quo and bring you the straight talk you need. Whether you're frustrated with the political establishment or looking for a clear, some nonsense analysis, this show has you covered. Tune in. Let's take on the issues together with a fresh, unfiltered approach. Catch us every weekday from 4 to 6 p.m. on WRMN, A Political Talk Show. WRMN, the talk of the town.
And we're back with WCK, Comfort Keepers Radio. So, Julianne, what got you interested in Comfort Keepers?
Mom passed. We were concerned about Dad being alone.
And Phil, what's it like to have a caregiver around?
Well, it's great. They help me get ready for the day and drive me wherever I need to go.
And I heard you guys are cooking together, too.
I'm learning.
It's been a huge relief knowing someone's there.
Learn more at comfortkeepers.com.
It's the Birds.
To everything, turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time to every purpose under heaven.
It's the first shift. Nice outside. Welcome to Studio 14 in downtown Elgin on the talk of the town. 75 years strong. I'm radio's Marky B, joined by local legend Larry Jones from Huntley, Illinois. At least that's where he came from this morning. Good morning, Larry.
Morning, Mark.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I'm looking. It's a little overcast. Maybe we won't have to adjust the curtains or anything this morning. We can
I don't know about that.
Take it on.
I bet by an hour from now we might have some sunshine.
Probably so. I don't know. Anyway, things are good.
Yeah.
Things are good.
53 degrees, a nice cool start to a day where it's going to be kind of hot by the end of the day.
Right. Which is kind of, hot days, cool nights. That's okay, huh?
Yeah. We're going to hit 86 today and 86 again tomorrow. And then not much of a drop off all through the weekend, lower 80s, still lower to mid 80s by early next week. So the weather hanging in there as we head towards the official first day of fall. It is the 255th day of the year, 37th week. So 255 out of 365, Larry. We're making our way.
We are making our way.
Yeah.
Of course, everybody, it's their own opinion. The days seem like they pass so quickly, Just seems like time is just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It moves faster than I can do everything that's on my list, I'll tell you that.
I know. And my list is short, and I still have that problem.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's 9/11 today.
Yes.
We're going to try to see, and I think we should be able to do it, pick up the Elgin Fire Department Facebook page stream of the Hemmons.
What time is that, Mark?
9 o'clock.
Okay.
So we'll try to do that at 9.
Mm-hmm.
And lots of tribute ceremonies going on around the area and around the country today. 23 years now.
That was such a troubling time. Really a troubling time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
23 years now. So if you want to call in and talk about that a little bit today, you can. 847-931-1410 is the number to call. And you can drive the conversation the way you want to, right, Lair?
We always say that, don't we?
Yeah.
And don't leave it up to us. Don't do that. You know, we can do it if we need to.
Yeah, we can do it.
If called upon, we can serve.
Sure.
But you have to have some ideas of things you'd like to talk about, or a point you'd like to make, or something. You should.
There's 9/11. There's the 75th anniversary of WRMN.
I know. I had an opportunity to call in, and while I was waiting to get in, I had more time to listen to the radio, listen to the broadcast, and it seemed like a good time. I thought there might have been cake. I looked around immediately. I saw no cake around, but...
During our broadcast yesterday?
No, here when I got here today.
No.
But then I thought, well, that was yesterday. The chance of a cake surviving, limited.
CK brought you a cupcake, though.
Yeah, I know. But that was after I was here for a while.
Look at mine. I ate this.
Yeah, I did too.
Frosting off the top of it.
I did too.
You did the same thing?
I did the very same thing. Yeah, I know.
Well, it's the best part.
It is. The rest of it, it's just the vehicle that brings the frosting.
Really?
You know, it's like the frosting truck.
I don't need the extra bread, really.
No. Yep.
They should make mini, cupcakes that aren't as tall.
Yeah. Yeah.
Almost like flat cupcakes.
Come like frosting cakes or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't waste so much of whatever that is.
Yeah, we don't need the extra calories from that.
Yeah.
That'll give you can pile the frosting on higher.
True. 847-931-1410 if you want to join the show today.
Yeah, that's right in line with my idea of having like chicken. You can buy like a bucket of almost skin, chicken skin.
Yeah.
Yeah, just have that.
The skin off the fried chicken's really good.
It is really good. And then just have maybe you throw an occasional wing or something in to kind of degrease on.
Yeah, but the chicken's good too, though.
I kind of like chicken.
Yeah.
It's on my list. If somebody would say, you get like 7 things, this is all you can eat the rest of your life, I think chicken would be in there.
Chicken makes the top 7?
I think it would. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
7 things?
Yeah.
Well, that would cover, how many different things per week, dinner-wise, do you eat anyway? How many choices? The number of days in the week is about the right number of days for choices of food. Don't people go back to the same thing almost every week?
I don't know. When I cooked, I found that I had the basics. I tried not to be as like regular as that, where you think today's Tuesday, it's
Taco Tuesday.
Yeah, exactly. I try not to do that, but pretty soon you run out of ideas.
I know.
Yeah.
Do people have 2 weeks worth of unique individual dinners that they have before they go back to the first one again?
And I think unique is the answer. It's not like hamburgers and then hamburger steak and then, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know how many variations there are. I used to say to Patty all the time, tell me something you'd like.
Yeah.
Just tell me something you'd like. And then that would help me when when I'm working on it.
What?
Nothing.
A biker just went by.
He spit right in front of the station. I was thinking, I hope he swallowed a bug, and that wasn't his feeling about us.
There was an accident going on when I got here this morning on the corner of Highland and Douglas.
Really?
Pretty rough. Everybody looked like they were okay, but the cars looked like they were in rough
damage,
shape.
Huh?
Lots of damage. I was wondering how that happens at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, and downtown as well, right?
When there's no traffic.
Maybe somebody coming in instead of going out.
Yeah. There was 2 flatbed trucks over there. 2 vehicles had to be carried off.
Wow.
As I was coming in this morning.
Maybe somebody dozed off.
Guess it could happen, yeah. 4 o'clock in the morning, it must have been about that time when the accident took place. Downtown Elgin with barely any traffic. If you managed to get into an accident at that time, it's been a bad morning for you.
I remember at the Academy in 1970, we were in something about traffic enforcement, and I'm not going to have it right, but There was a certain year in maybe Delaware or something like that. There were 2 cars licensed in the entire state, and they ran into each other.
What do you mean?
I mean, there was 2 cars licensed to operate in the state, and they had an accident.
Back when driving first began?
Yes, when cars were first, yes.
That's funny.
It is funny.
Yeah.
That's bad luck.
That is. Wrong place at the wrong time.
Right. Did the phones light up after we made our plea?
Nope. Want to talk about sports?
Hey, they've got it coming, buddy.
Well, I think I kind of got the pick 6 sheet started yesterday.
Really?
Before I left for the day, I made myself at least choose the 6 games.
Yes.
Put them on a sheet. I didn't get all the rules put on the sheet yet. I don't know all the particulars of how to tell you to make your picks yet. I mean, I have pick sheets that I can print out, but we're not always open like we've been in the past.
I know.
So you'll have to pick a lucky time when someone opens the door and gives you one, or come on Saturday, because Saturdays we're still open.
Right.
Our redemption center is open on Saturdays, and we're going to have a place online where you can make your picks. That's probably going to be the best way to do it this season.
Right. Now, you had hinted early on that there may be a different way that the professional side of this makes their picks.
Well, I just thought maybe since we have kind of more of a local involved on-air staff than we've had in past years, that maybe it would be cute to see what Tammy's picks might be. Or it might be bad because
she might just
kick our butts
right out of us. I know.
Yeah. Now, Tammy goes to Titans games and stuff because she goes to Nashville all the time.
Oh, good for her.
So she probably has actually a little football now.
Oh, I don't doubt that.
Yeah.
And a little would put her right in the running for this, I would think.
Yeah.
You know? That's all I need. Her to have a better radio voice, have a better show, and outpick me, too. There's nothing left for me then.
Right.
Yeah.
Sonar, he don't know nothing about no football.
About it. Nope.
Sonar don't know nothing about no football.
He don't know football. Nope.
So it would be embarrassing to lose to him, which could happen. Because in pick 6, you never know.
No, I know.
Dino don't really know much about no football.
I don't think he has time to know anything about football.
But he might want to be in the pick 6.
He may.
Ben, I think, knows a little bit about football.
Mm-hmm.
So we might have some of our other staffers make their picks every week, too.
Okay.
But not all on the air at the same time. That would be too much clutter going on.
Yeah, we just never get done.
It's like
we'd have to start with the pick 6 on Monday.
That's what's happened on some of these pick shows, or when the announcers, like on Fox,
yes,
it's like 6 different guys making their picks.
I can't stand that.
It's too much.
It's too much. It's too much. Yes. All right.
We have a call 717 here at WRMN.
Really?
It's our loyal friend. Our loyal friend. You're not sure which one, are you?
I love them all.
Right?
I love them all.
We have a set of really loyal friends that are the most frequent callers here on the show.
And we appreciate them.
Yeah. It's 847-931-1410.
That's about all I'm going to go on about it. If you'd like to take the call.
Sure.
Okay.
We'll start this morning with Genius George.
Oh, wow.
Calling us here on the show.
You should have told me that right away. I'd have gushed a little bit longer about this.
Yeah. Hey, George, good morning.
Good morning, Larry. Good morning, Fernando.
I know you love that song.
Oh, ABBA is a big no in my world.
I know.
But you have to give them credit. Mega popular. I think in the 1970s, and Larry could verify this, I think ABBA was the second largest corporation to come out of Scandinavia after Volvo. They were that big.
Yeah.
Dancing Queen, no. Mamma Mia, no.
No.
The Winner Takes All, no.
No.
They did have a song.
Take a chance on me.
Yes, thank you. That's it.
Really?
Take a chance on me. That was okay. I mean, I was okay with it, but generally speaking, no to ABBA.
I just never really appreciated them.
No, and they have nice harmonies. Everything is well orchestrated. It just didn't connect with what I was listening
Nicely dressed, looked very clean.
Yeah.
Looked very clean.
Maybe that's why we didn't like them.
I don't know.
I have mentioned this so many times on the radio, but Larry has a way of summing up something so succinctly in either a word or a phrase, and he did it again this morning, and now this is going to be in my vernacular. Cupcake. the truck that brings the frosting. Larry, I mean, how could anybody say it any better? I've been eating cupcakes my entire life, but now I've got a whole new concept with the truck. The cupcake is the truck that brings the frosting. Beautiful. Beautifully said.
Thanks, George. 7 years, I never think Mark appreciates me as much as you do.
I don't know where the stuff, it's just in the wind or in the air. You just pull it in.
Yes.
But it was unbelievable. Just
Thanks.
great.
Thanks, George.
You being a wordsmith like you are, George, you appreciate things like that a lot.
Yeah, I know, Mark.
Yeah.
You know, as I was saying yesterday on that, and that was one of the reasons I called, that 75th anniversary show yesterday was great. It was just the very best of community radio. Everybody had a part in it. It was just really well done and so interesting. And Tim Sconing's call kind of pulled things in full circle. It was just a great show. It really, I couldn't say enough about it. So it was great. And in keeping with that, I understand that I don't know the specifics yet, but Councilman Thorne, I think, is promoting a proclamation or having a proclamation honoring WRMN. It'll be presented to WRMN at the city council meeting, I think, in 2 weeks, which would be, the 25th?
Yeah.
And it would certainly be nice if everything comes to fruition. It would certainly be nice if a group of first shifters or WRMN listeners showed up at that council meeting, because those proclamations are at the beginning of the meeting. You're not obligated to stay for the entire meeting, but it's a nice show of support, I think, for the radio station and how much the radio station means.
You know, it's a good idea. I'll make sure I promote it in the next couple of weeks and remind people that it's taking place.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
9/11, of course, is just a day that changed our country forever. But and we have so many memories, and it's a day of unity, I think, a day of remembering what keeps us together, not what pulls us apart. And we talked on the show, everybody has memories, and people of my age, Larry's age, your age, Mark, it's not just a memory, it's a series of memories. The most poignant memory I have in a litany of poignant memories, and this was several days after 9/11, everything was at a standstill, no air traffic, you remember it, and we were just in a national state of mourning. And I remember I was going to pick my daughter up at a school event, and she was in Winnetka. So I'm driving down Palatine Road, which becomes Willow Road, on a Friday afternoon, and there was just bumper-to-bumper traffic. And it almost seemed like, now we put that emotional nature, the emotional things that we've gone through all week, and the sacrifice that people made and the lives lost, all that's put aside, because now I'm irritated because I'm in traffic and I got to go get my daughter. And come on, let's go. And I'm just stuck in traffic. And at that point, Willow is 2 lanes, one going east, one going west. And out of the corner of my eye, I see something, and it is a runner, obviously somebody who's in great shape and a marathon type runner, and he is running with this giant American flag. And I tell you, it brought tears to my eyes, because it reminded me of all the events of earlier that week and how we can never lose sight of those things. And here, 3 or 4 days after the event itself, I'm losing sight of it because I'm irritated that I'm in traffic. So we're better together. We're Americans first and foremost. All our differences aside. Remember that.
Right, George.
Well said, George. Well, thank you for calling this morning.
Thanks, pal.
I'm going to get on that truck. I'm going to get on that cupcake truck.
There you go, buddy. Mm-hmm.
So
throw some Dancing Queen on.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. After the show.
No, thank you.
All right, George. Thanks.
Talk to you soon. Bye.
Kind of in that, I know we were going to get to sports. I didn't know where George was going to go. And I know at the time, and I know through time, people didn't appreciate President Bush.
Yeah.
W. And he's become a bit more popular after he was done by Democrats. He's more popular than he was at the time. But I have to say, during that time where I think everybody was sitting around waiting for the third or fourth shoe to drop, not knowing if that was a one-day thing or whatever. And I know my wife was very upset by it, and I lost track at the time how upset she was, and probably wasn't as supportive just because I was really mad. Not her, you know what I mean? I was just mad. It was like somebody sucker punching us, and you didn't even know where they were to fight back, and everybody being afraid. When he went to Yankee Stadium, President Bush, and threw out that first pitch, I was so proud. And I was so proud because I felt like it was us saying to everybody in the world, and sadly, there are a lot of people in the world who don't like us like we think everybody in the world should.
Right.
But it was like looking up and saying, yeah, you got us. You got us. But you didn't really get us. And we're okay, and we're fine, and we can take what you do. We're still going to be here when it's all done. I was almost crying. I really was, just thinking, yeah, that's right. That's us. That's us. Mm-hmm. And I was pretty proud of him, as a matter of fact. And I have to think. I mean, he didn't know if he was going to walk out there and what was going to happen. You don't know.
Yeah.
And I was really, really proud of that. And there was all that stuff about, he hid in the airplane. He did. Anyway, I was really proud.
Yeah. 7:25 here at WRMN. Dino checks in on YouTube this morning. Says, God morning, FRV, first shift, our guy Larry and Marky B. Looking forward to a great day. Please take a moment to remember all of those who lost their lives on 9/11/2001. May they rest in peace. A couple of prayers from Dino.
Yes.
To our prayer scoreboard. And this morning we have 46 prayers currently on the prayer scoreboard.
You and I remarked down there at First Responder Fest how impressive those flags were.
Yeah.
And it was nice that there was a bit of a breeze, so they really were just flowing.
Yeah.
And it's hard to think about each one of those flags representing a first responder who lost their life that day.
Mm-hmm.
That's unbelievable.
403 flags.
Yes.
That were out there over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a different set of 403 flags out in Carpentersville this morning where they're having their ceremony.
I saw them out yesterday. I was up that way.
You were?
And saw them out. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Have you been on the new Long Common yet?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
I haven't had a reason to be over that way. I'm not one to just take a drive to. I think it's going to be there a while. I don't have to rush over.
I got to try this out.
Yeah, right. While it's still new and smooth.
Yeah. Cartman Dan checks in. He says, good morning, everybody. Have a great day. God bless America.
Yes, sir.
From Cartman Dan. Trusty Pat checking in. Good morning to friends. May you all have a blessed day. From Trusty Pat. Dad and son cook it all. That would be Northwest Wes and Northwest Wesley Jr. II. Checking in this morning. Oh, boy. What have I done with my computer? Calm yourself, computer. Calm yourself. 7:27 here at WRMN. I think I calmed it down. So now I say this.
Shut your mouth, you thong-wearing fatty.
Northwest Wes says, happy halfway day, everyone. All the best from Junior II and myself.
Shut your mouth, you thong-wearing fatty.
Probably see them driving by, perhaps, in a few moments. Hector says, happy birthday to my twin cousins, Kyler and Yaya. And my cousin Iris. They're all having birthdays today. I imagine the twins would be on the same day, right? Kyler and Yaya.
That's usually how it works.
Yeah. And my cousin Iris, a big day in Hector and the Soto family birthday department. 7:28 here at WRMN AM 1410 and WRMN Radio on YouTube. Linda Carter says, good morning, Larry J. Welcome back to Wednesday.
Hey, Linda.
Have a blessed day from Linda Carter. She's waiting anticipably. Is that a word?
If it wasn't, it is now.
She is waiting anticipably for the upcoming Pick 6.
I think it might, would it be, and George will know.
She's doing some anticipatory waiting.
Yeah.
Pick 6 sheets coming up anytime now. In fact, I'm going to go grab the first unofficial sheet from the printer during this break, and maybe we can go over the games in the next hour and a half. We'll talk about last night's debate. If you want to, let's debate the debate. Call us at 847-931-1410 and let us know what you thought of the performance of the bully, Donald Trump, and the new kid in town, Kamala Harris, last night at the debate. Or other news, too, 847-931-1410. Here comes that sunshine, starting to make its way down Action Alley on this Wednesday morning as we head for a high of 86. Keep it right here on the first shift, WRMN AM 1410 and WRMN Radio on YouTube. Happy Wednesday.
With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Curdan. Brought to you by Sky Rizzy. Elgin is set to commemorate Patriot Day with a solemn remembrance ceremony September 11th at the Hemmons Cultural Center. The event is scheduled to begin at 9 a.m. when will feature the Elgin Fire Department, Elgin Police Department, and honored guests presenting flags. Participants will be treated to a rendition of the national anthem by Larkin High School students, heartfelt remarks from city officials, and representatives of the American Legion Post 57. In an effort to address the educational needs of Americans without a four-year college degree, Illinois is receiving an $8 million boost from the Apprenticeships Build America grants. The funding is part of a $244 million initiative by the U.S. Department of Labor. 57-year-old David R. Glass facing severe legal repercussions after being charged with multiple felonies related to child pornography. The McHenry County Sheriff's Office, in collaboration with the Illinois Attorney General's Office, charging Glass with 10 counts of reproducing or selling child pornography and 10 counts of possession. With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Curdan.
What's better than one win? 3 wins. With Straight Savings, you keep your own phone, get one line for only $25 a month with real unlimited data, and get rewarded with a $200 phone credit after 12 months. It's a win-win-win. Head to Walmart or visit straighttalk.com today. Switch to Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Straight Savings Plan enrollment requires compatible unlocked device and new line of service. Bonus device credit requires 12 months of active service. Offer ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. Taxes and fees apply. For network management practices, see Straight Talk's terms and conditions.
Progressive presents Renter's MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Tom Kelly's carbon fiber mountain bike. Because more than riding his carbon fiber mountain bike, Tom loves telling people about his carbon fiber mountain bike. Friends, family, even a local barista knows about his carbon fiber mountain bike. And that's why Tom's carbon fiber mountain bike, if you haven't heard about it, is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Progressive presents the Sports Flash on News Talk Radio 1410 WRMN.
Hand off to Debo, a block and a dive for the goal line, and he's up on the goal line and in. Touchdown! San Francisco!
The call on Niners radio on last night's 32-19 win over the Jets. Fill-in running back Jordan Mason ran for 147 yards and a touchdown in place of the injured Christian McCaffrey as the 49ers spoiled Aaron Rodgers' comeback game. On the other side, Brock Purdy 19 for 29, passing 231 yards. San Francisco got a pair of rushing touchdowns, one from Mason, the other from Deebo Samuel. Jake Moody 6 for 6 on field goal attempts. His longest was 53 yards. San Francisco scored on 8 consecutive drives in the season-opening win. McCaffrey sat the game out due to injuries to his calf and Achilles. Up next, a matchup with the Vikings.
Bundle auto and home, renters or condo, and save with Progressive.
I'm Chuck Sanders on News Talk Radio 1410 WRMN.
Progressive presents Renter's MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Emily Neal's 70-inch TV. Because after watching her second-grade students yell at each other for hours, there's nothing Emily enjoys more than watching super-rich housewives also yell at each other. Why? Because those women are not her responsibility. And that's why her TV is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
You might wonder, John Legend, how do you keep your voice sounding so legendary? Honey. And how do I keep my protection against COVID-19 up to date? With a COVID shot this season, designed for recent variants.
You can get your COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot if you're due for both, as recommended by the CDC.
The fresher, the better.
Ask your healthcare provider about getting this season's COVID-19 shot when getting your flu shot.
From the pages of the Elgin newspapers of 100 years ago today, these are the headlines brought to you by the Elgin History Museum.
This is Alan Walters reporting the Elgin News from September 11th, 1924. The wrath of a woman scorned today suddenly terminated the liberty of Walter Pruitt, alias Walter Eldred, escaped convict from the Southern Illinois Penitentiary at Menard, where he had been serving a 1 to 10 year sentence for forgery. Pruitt is now on his way back to the cell from which he escaped in 1922 after he had served 1 year of his sentence. And today, Mrs. Julia Pruitt is repentant, sorry, and sad that in a fit of anger she had tipped police off to the fact that her husband was an escaped convict. On the other hand, Pruitt, disgusted because his wife has thus failed him and violated a confidence, as he terms it, states that he isn't at all sad to be going back to prison and leave his bride of a year ago. According to police, Mrs. Pruitt, living under the name of Mrs. Eldred, has repeatedly threatened her husband with exposure when he had erred in his conduct. Whatever it was to incite her to call the police and tip them off is a question the police don't profess to know. When the police appeared at her home at 215.5 Division Street, Mrs. Pruitt tearfully admitted that she had called the police, but then and there attempted to deny her story. Pruitt, surprised that his woman had tipped police off, immediately confessed and willingly gave himself up.
Elgin 100 Years Ago is a presentation of the Elgin History Museum. Be sure to visit the museum located at 360 Park Street in Elgin, open Wednesday through Saturdays 11 to 4. You can also listen to Elgin 100 Years Ago at www.elginhistory.org.
.36 here on the first shift, Wednesday morning. Some Banana-Rama brings us back from the break. Good morning to Northwest West and Northwest Wesley Jr. the second.
Shut your mouth, you thong-wearing fatty. Shut your mouth, you thong-wearing fatty.
Northwest West and Northwest Wesley Jr. the second.
Nothing prepares a young fellow for a day of learning than that.
No. Go learn. Thong-wearing fatty. Cruel Summer by Banana-Rama.
Wow.
A good beat to this song.
I don't think I've ever heard it before. I don't.
No way.
I'm kind of thinking it, buddy. There's a chance that I just shut it out right away. I'm not a big Banana-Rama fan.
They had a couple hits.
Did they?
They had they did a version of Venus.
I remember that.
Yeah. Shabone. How do you say someone's name spelled Siobhan?
I don't know.
Shabone? I don't know. Shabone.
I don't have any idea. Is that the name of a song?
That's a singer's name.
Oh.
Their first name. Fahey. Fahey is her last name. She was born on this day in 1957.
Oh.
Banana-Rama had the 1984 number 3 UK single Robert De Niro's Waiting.
Wow. Can't believe that didn't hit big here.
Plus the 1985 U.S. number 1 single Venus.
Yeah. I remember.
And Venus was a remake of whose version of Venus? The original Venus.
One of them, I don't know, Frankie Avalon, maybe something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
7:38 here at WRMN. Welcome back to the first shift. 847-931-1410. Everybody sleeping in today.
Yeah.
Kind of hungover from the debate parties that took place last night.
Yeah, it's hard to wind down and hit the sack after that much excitement.
I had to turn the TV off right before the final comments.
You're kidding.
By both.
So you went to sleep with no closure.
No closing remarks for me.
Wow.
I put closure on it myself.
Yeah, by turning it off?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I did watch the whole thing. You quit pretty early, huh?
I did.
I figured you'd hang in there just for the show.
I told people I need to watch it so we can talk about it.
Yeah.
And I had the best of intentions. I truly did. But I was so disappointed in both that I just let it go. I just let it go.
Right off the bat, you were disappointed both by Donald Trump and Kamala Harris.
Yeah, both. What it made me think is I'm in the middle of another election with two people I just don't like.
Yeah,
that's what I feel like I'm. And it's happened before, and I'll make it through. But it's just true.
Well, you should I ask you what you dislike about each candidate?
I don't. Well, I mean, some of it's so surfacey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I find Kamala Harris's voice to be grating to me. That kind of nasally and in my mind kind of whiny, a little bit whiny. And that sounds sexist, and I don't mean to be. Because if Donald Trump sounded like her, I'd say the same thing. It's just kind of whiny. And I give her credit. I thought she was very composed because I feel she's a bit hot-tempered sometimes. During the earlier debates, she was, before. When she was trying to get the Democratic nomination for president and Joe Biden did, she was very aggressive when they were working the internal debates. She was very aggressive. I think she probably did exactly what her people said you need to do.
Yes.
You need to do. Just stay the course. It's okay to point out something, but don't get locked into a fight. Don't get into a street fight with him. Do not.
Yeah.
And I almost felt like that demeanor from her knocked him off a little bit, And she walked over and shook his hand. He clearly wasn't ready for that. Clearly. Yeah, he wasn't ready. She introduced herself to him.
She did?
Yeah.
I watched them shake hands, but I didn't watch it that closely.
I didn't see. I saw what she said. She introduced herself because she had never shaken. She has never.
They had never met before.
No, exactly. I thought
she said, "Hi, I'm Kamala Harris."
Yes, I don't know if she said hi. Hey,
Trumpy.
Yeah, exactly.
What's up, Trump?
My man. Yeah. No, I don't know. I just, it's a theater I don't like, and I consider it just theater. That's all it is. If you would make each one of them swear that they were going to do everything they claimed during a debate, I'd like that more. But it's a theater. That's all. Yeah.
Well, they started out by the first question was to Kamala.
Yes.
Do you think the economy is better off than it was 4 years ago? I think was the first question of the night. Instantly, there was not a yes/no answer given.
Yeah.
Instantly, the first question could have been a yes/no question.
No. Wouldn't
that be funny if she said yes?
Yes. Next. Question 2.
Yes, I believe it is.
Yeah.
But right off the bat, she obviously, to me, was saying no.
Right.
By her answer.
Right.
And then started bailing into what her economic plan was going to be, I guess, which is kind of what we want to hear. I mean,
you would like to know.
You want to hear some issues, or at least that she has a plan. I can't remember how in-depth she was about talking about that plan, but
I think it's hard. When you're a vice president, it's hard to not bear any blame if things are not going well and not minimalize the role you played as a vice president. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Say, yeah, they're messed up, but I didn't have anything to do with that.
It wasn't me.
Wasn't me. Well, what were you doing?
Donald says Joe hates me.
That's right.
He said that later in the debate
Did he
last
really?
night. Yeah, he said Joe Biden he hated her.
Well, yeah, but I don't know how much. What do you put on that when you just forced him to not be running for president because he didn't understand anything, right? I mean, I don't know. He hates you. Did he know? Did he remember me?
Yeah. So I wondered if she might on certain topics, like the economy, let's say, throw Joe under the bus a little bit and say, you know what, really wasn't
me. I tried to talk to him.
Yeah.
He wouldn't listen to me. I had a lot of great ideas.
He was asleep. I couldn't keep him awake to listen.
I left 2 notes on his desk. I don't know what happened. No, I just, like I said, to me, it would be no different in my mind than watching a movie about a presidential election. That's how much I see it as just, yeah, I don't.
I thought you said you didn't like the way that Donald Trump looked or something, right? I actually thought he looked a little better.
Well, he didn't look as orange.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I thought.
And he has his usual, whatever that look is he gives.
He has his usual hair.
It was like grimace or whatever it is. But
yeah, I know.
But he wasn't like, it wasn't an angry grimace. It was more like a, I'm listening to what you're saying and waiting for you to finish.
Yeah, maybe.
Grimace.
Maybe so.
That's just his look.
Yeah, I never saw, but I only watched, like I said, anything I'm saying is from a snippet. I didn't see him get angry. I didn't see that. I don't know if it happened later on. I told you, I think you can tell when he starts freewheeling because the tempo of his conversation takes on it becomes a little bit more clipped when he's thinking just his thoughts and a little faster, a little clipped and stuff. I think he's better if he could just stay. He tries to explain too much. I think he's a fixer. He tries to explain things when he'd be better off. Sometimes the explanation is more muddy than just a basic answer. Yeah.
When Donald just runs the offense, he does pretty well. But sometimes when he decides he's going to score the points and ignore the rest of the team,
when he starts bringing in stuff like the center sneak and the Hail Mary, the Statue of Liberty and stuff like that, pretty soon it's too razzly dazzly, and I just don't think it seems genuine.
I think you could tell at the very beginning, the first question that Kamala was asked, her answer, she seemed kind of shaky.
I thought
she seemed very nervous.
I thought so too. Yes,
but
she settled down.
She shook that off fairly quickly.
Yeah.
And who wouldn't? I mean, Donald Trump's not nervous, but
no, he's been there a bunch.
But most everybody else would be nervous in that situation,
right?
And but she did shake it off, and I thought she stayed pretty composed, and I think she stood toe to toe.
Me too.
With Donald Trump, and he's a bully, but she didn't get bullied.
No, I don't think you're going to bully her. I just don't think so. I don't think so.
And when the whole abortion situation got brought up, she went off.
I thought she was awfully emotional about that.
Yeah.
And I don't know if
she sprung into natural mode on that.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if her advisors said, when this comes up, it's important for you to show how strongly you feel about this. How strongly. I have no idea. And again, that's just my negativity saying there's very few moves that happen there that they're already like a pregame meeting where they say, these are the reads. If this happens, you do that. If this happens, you do that. But she clearly was, whether it was a natural thing or a planned thing, she was very emotional about that, which makes sense. If you're going to beat the fact that you believe a woman has the right to make decisions about her body, and you're a woman, you should be pretty emotional about that. Yeah. And I thought she did that well.
I think when they put a list of the topics that were going to be discussed, and the ones that Kamala had the best chance of winning on, abortion was number one on that list.
Of course.
Yeah. Number one, so you better capitalize when abortion gets brought up.
This is your hot button right here.
And she did.
Yes. Yeah.
And she did on that, for sure. There were probably 3 or 4 different times when a yes-no question was asked.
Yeah.
None of those times was the answer yes or no. Donald was asked whether he had any regrets about the insurrection.
Yeah.
And, of course, he was asked twice, actually.
I know.
Twice. Did he have any regrets? I was sitting there thinking he could have said, I don't, he could have had a regret without making him be the one.
I know.
He could have said, I regret that it happened the way it did.
Sure. I know.
I mean, it's a shame that happened the way it did. I didn't call for that. I mean, if that's the way he feels, I didn't call for that. I'm not the one who ignited that or instigated that.
But
it happened, and that's sad. I regret that it happened.
Right. And I think people would look and say, that's okay. I wish
they want to hear Donald Trump say he's wrong one time.
Yeah, I know.
Or at least seem somewhat contrite about something.
I know. I agree with you. Yeah, I mean, you know me. I wish he would have said, I wish I would have at that time said to the people, stop this. Stop this. If I was him, I would have said that. I wish I would have taken some time and said to people that supported me, don't do this. Don't stop.
Yeah.
Stop. Don't do this. And I wish he would have said that. I hope he feels that way. But I don't even know if he does. I don't even know if he feels that way. You know, there's a part of me that saw it somehow as fortifying how strong his supporters felt about him. Well, I don't know if it was how strong they felt about him or how mad they were at the government. I don't know. Either way, as we've said about other things that are demonstrations that turn violent or destructive, it's not the way to get your message across, right? If you're burning down your neighborhood or you're trying to set fire to a building in Washington, it's not the way to get your message across. Yeah.
847-931-1410. We're going to let Prigga Mortis set in, and while we do, I'm going to close the drapes for you a little bit, Lair.
Yeah,
it's that moment.
Apparently, and it woke up that fella that came walking down Action Alley. He kind of walked down and was rubbing his eyes like the sun finally got to him too. As a matter of fact,
was someone sleeping behind the building over there?
He must have. Boy, that poor guy. He looked a little tough, didn't he? A little tough.
I saw some guy laid out on the grass. He looked comfortable when I was running the other day.
Yeah.
I run sometimes when I get done with the morning show. I go for my run, and I did the other day. And I run down Douglas, usually all the way up to like Jefferson,
right?
And then I cut down Jefferson back down to Grove, and then I head back north on Grove. And so I passed the library. Right before I got to the library, there's a little corner there where the parking lot of the library begins, and there's a little grassy area there. Some dude, Hispanic dude, was just laid out on his back, boots on, young guy, sound asleep. He looked comfortable.
Maybe he was.
I was thinking to myself, does he live in Tent City? And he thought, I got to get out of here and go somewhere where I can rest for a while.
Or maybe he just thought, I can't make it all the way there. I better nap right here, right now.
Yeah.
Rest up to go home.
Let's go to the phones check in with John Prigge. Good morning, John.
Hey, John.
Hello, gentlemen. Hey, I have something really simple to ask and wonder if it's fair.
Well, if you're looking for an answer and it's simple, you come to the right place.
Well, I hope so. Doggone it. During the early parts of campaigns, people sometimes ask, or I think a lot of people ask themselves, am I better off now than I was 4 years ago? Okay. Do you think it's fair to say, will I now be better off the next 4 years than what I think is going to happen the next 4 years? So instead of saying, am I better off? That's past tense. Will I be better off in the next 4 years with Harris or with Trump? I think that was my kind of end of the night takeaway after watching that. I think, both people made mistakes. I think the moderators did a C- job. They were supposed to cut people off at the end of their time. And I know that's hard to do. It's hard to manage, especially when, you're a reporter. Obviously, everything's focused on ABC TV.
Right.
So you want to make it, I hate to use this word, entertaining to the people, because you want to think for them and say, I should let Harris follow up on that. That's a good one,
Sure, and you might be cutting off a quite usable quote.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know. I'd like to find out how many people would answer that question after watching it tonight.
Isn't it true?
Will I be better off?
Aren't the debates almost? I agree with you about the fact, John, that they seem to all be based on the past, right? It's like, that's both of them are slugging it out about past performances, and I don't know how much people think how this all transforms into what's going to happen in 4 years. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I hope people that are going to, wake up and maybe watch clips of this and bits and pieces, or watch the whole thing, realize that you can understand why anyone in this country is angry about what's happened in the last 4 years, that they're angry about, almost $4 gas, that they're angry that a liter bottle of pop is almost $2 and just a little bit over. And maybe that kind of excuses, in a way, Donald Trump's behavior, because there was a couple of times he was on fire, and I thought that he was maybe taking a page out of his campaign rallies, where the venues are certainly different. You cannot run a rally from a debate. You just can't. But that's what I'm thinking, that as time goes on today, as you're driving around, just think, am I going to be better off between now and 2028?
Right.
I don't know. I don't know if I can follow this horse into the race,
Well,
no matter who it is, no matter who you believe in.
That's a very pragmatic way of looking at it. I mean, you can take all the personality out of it, take whether you hate how much of a bully Donald Trump is, or you hate how, whatever you think about Kamala Harris, however she is, just simplify it. Take all the personalities and all the statements and, policies and lies and everything that comes out of those two, and just put it aside and say, how do I feel in 4 years? I'll feel, which one will make me, do I think I'll feel better about in the next 4 years?
It is a simple way
for
to
me.
look at it. It's a simple way to look at it.
Yeah.
But it's hard to embrace. I don't know why. It almost seems like this is too important to be simple.
Yeah. Good point. Excellent point. There's so many tentacles to this.
Right.
You worry about how is she going to sit next to Putin? How is she going to deal with the things that Trump obviously wins at or has won at on issues? Trump's obviously said, and we've seen it, that he's done pretty well with these world leaders by, showing them pictures of their house and say, why do you have a pic? I mean, that would freak me out. And I'm, just a few miles from downtown.
Yeah, right. I know.
So, but anyway, I just thought I would throw that out just to see if there's anybody thinking maybe they should, if they're not, just saying, it's kind of like betting on a horse. Is this horse going to come in for me in the next 4 years?
I know.
Tough decision.
All right, John.
So,
thanks, buddy.
Thank you, man.
All right.
Good to hear you.
Take care.
Take care, John.
Bye.
Yeah.
All right, John Prigge chiming in, simplifying things a little bit. 847-931-1410. Got a couple of minutes before the top of the hour break. I definitely thought that Kamala went after... Actually, if a boxing match starts, because I can almost compare the debate to a boxing match a little bit. If it starts with both boxers just kind of dancing around, both are kind of afraid to be the aggressor.
Just feeling each other out.
I kind of thought that Kamala was a bit of the aggressor. In her second or third answer, she started throwing the barbs at Donald Trump, and I thought that was the danger zone right there for Kamala.
I know.
She handled it well, though, but I was thinking, man, do you really want to open up this can of worms?
I agree. I mean, you don't know. Anyway, I think if you're a female candidate to be the president of the United States, you walk a line of people thinking you're just too much, or if you go out there and say, I can fight with the big boys. You don't have to worry about me hiding in the kitchen or the White House.
Yeah.
I can fight with the big boys. Yeah.
Well, maybe that's what her advisors told her. You have to prove that you can be tough.
I think you have to, don't you? People that are doubting in the world stage that you need a leader that's going to be like, I'm not kidding. Don't make me pull over. I am not kidding about this. And we need that. If you're going to be the most powerful nation in the world, you need to act like it. That's my feeling about it,
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, we have less than a minute. We have David on hold now.
Well, we can't take David in a minute.
Can you wait till after the break? Well, I guess you're going to have to.
He can't say hello in less than a minute.
He says, hello.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, David, hang a few minutes.
Hang with us, buddy.
We'll take you first up when we come back from the break.
Exactly.
7:58 here on this Wednesday morning. It's beautiful outside. We're in the 50s, headed for a high of about 85, 86 today, and same for tomorrow. And the weather's going to stay nice. Really not much rain, if any, in the forecast at all for the next several days. About an hour away from our coverage from the Hemmons this morning, we're going to try to pick up the Elgin Fire Department Facebook page feed of the remembrance ceremony over at the Hemmons with Mayor Captain speaking along with Chief Anna Lally and Commander Mark Smith. And so that will come up at 9 o'clock right here on WRMN. Right now, let's check the top of the hour news in just a moment here on the first shift on the 11th of September.
Columbia College of Missouri Elgin campus is intent in their commitment to open doors and support those who strive for excellence. Too many people have been made to feel that higher education isn't a place for them. that it is someone else's dream. But Columbia College of Missouri has changed all that. With individualized attention and ongoing support, Columbia College knows a future built by you is a future built for you. Columbia College of Missouri Elgin campus, your new starts now. Visit ccis.edu.
Visit the Milwaukee County Zoo this summer to enjoy so many species of fun. Home to more than 2,200 animals, representing over 340 different species. The zoo educates, entertains, and inspires. Stomp back in time with the zoo's summer exhibit, Dinosaur Discovery, sponsored by Sendik's Food Market. You'll be astounded by the gigantic and scientifically accurate animatronic displays. Touch, feel, and learn about the role of predators in the ecosystem. Running through October 5th. Visit milwaukeezoo.org.
Your hometown radio station since 1949. We are WRMN AM 1410, Elgin time, 8 o'clock.
With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Kernan. Brought to you by the U.S. Postal Service. In an effort to address the educational needs of Americans without a four-year college degree, Illinois is receiving an $8 million boost from the Apprenticeships Build America grants. The funding is part of a $244 million initiative by the U.S. Department of Labor. 57-year-old David R. Glass, facing severe legal repercussions after being charged with multiple felonies related to child pornography, the McHenry County Sheriff's Office, in collaboration with the Illinois Attorney General's Office, charging Glass with 10 counts of reproducing or selling child pornography and 10 counts of possession. Elgin is set to commemorate Patriot Day with a solemn remembrance ceremony September 11th at the Hemmons Cultural Center. The event is scheduled to begin at 9 a.m. and will feature the Elgin Fire Department, Elgin Police Department, and honored guests presenting flags. Participants will be treated to a rendition of the national anthem by Larkin High School students, heartfelt remarks from city officials, and representatives of the American Legion Post 57. With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Kernan.
What's better than one win? 3 wins. With Straight Savings, you keep your own phone, get one line for only $25 a month with real unlimited data, and get rewarded with a $200 phone credit after 12 months. It's a win-win-win. Head to Walmart or visit straighttalk.com today. Switch to Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Straight Savings Plan enrollment requires compatible unlocked device and new line of service. Bonus device credit requires 12 months of active service. Offer ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. Taxes and fees apply. For network management practices, see Straight Talk's terms and conditions.
Progressive presents Renter's MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Tom Kelly's carbon fiber mountain bike. Because more than riding his carbon fiber mountain bike, Tom loves telling people about his carbon fiber mountain bike. Friends, family, even a local barista knows about his carbon fiber mountain bike. And that's why Tom's carbon fiber mountain bike, if you haven't heard about it, is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
By love of food and wellness, Mockingbird Bar and Garden of East Dundee encourages you to eat seasonal and clean while still indulging a bit. Whether food is served fresh or wood-fired, nothing is overcomplicated. Mockingbird Bar and Garden promises to give your palate something delicious and new and aspires to be a hive of buzz and activity. Start your weekend with an espresso or complement dinner with wine, specialty cocktails, or craft beer. Visit mockingbirdbarandgarden.com today.
Big opportunities don't wait for the winter meeting season. Stay in the know now with Compere Financial's Agri-Mindset webinars, where industry experts bring you the latest in ag, and you don't have to leave the farm to listen in. Join us August 21st at 1 o'clock for an in-depth hour on navigating technology investments to benefit your farm in today's market. Sign up for Compere's next Agri-Mindset webinar at compere.com/register. Compere Financial is an equal credit opportunity lender and provider. Copyright 2024. All rights reserved.
Progressive presents the Sports Flash on News Talk Radio 1410 WRMN. Cubs pounded the Dodgers 10-4 at Dodger Stadium. Chicago took a 3-0 lead out of the first. Michael Busch 4 for 5 with a homer. He scored 3 runs. Cody Bellinger had 3 RBI, including a 2-run homer. The Cubs offense broke out for 16 hits. Every player got at least one. The Cubs look to extend a 2-game winning streak tonight when the series continues. Chicago 5 games out of a National League wild card spot.
High and deep to center. Back on it is Robert. This one's gone. Home run, Bo Naylor.
Guardians radio 5-3 the win over the White Sox. Loss number 112 for the Sox, who suffered their franchise record 13th consecutive home loss and 15th in their last 17 games overall. The Sox approaching the Major League modern record for most losses in a season that was set by the Mets in 1962 with 120.
Bundle auto and home, renters or condo, and save with Progressive.
I'm Chuck Sanders on News Talk Radio 1410 WRMN.
Timmy, everybody. Great job. Next up for our 5th grade class recital, we have Samantha.
10 times better performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge Motor Oil gives your engine 10 times better high-stress performance. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance. Now through December 28th, Castrol Edge and Edge High Mileage Motor Oil are on rollback at Walmart.
Claim based on Sequence 9 test under high-load conditions versus API-SP test limits.
Progressive presents Renter's MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Joe Fallon's bedroom mini fridge. Sure, this pint-sized chiller's max capacity is 3 soda cans, but what it lacks in stature, it makes up in cooling strength. Each beverage a perfect 37 degrees every time. And the 2 feet Joe walks to get a drink, priceless. That's why his mini fridge is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive has...
Attention all burger enthusiasts and game aficionados. Celebrate a century of excellence at Mott's Lounge. Proudly serving the community for 100 years under 5 generations of passionate ownership. Sink your teeth into our hand-pressed fresh burgers bursting with flavor, crafted just the way you like them. And while you're here, enjoy our exclusive drink specials, perfect for toasting to our milestone anniversary. Plus, challenge your luck with our state-of-the-art gaming machines, adding an extra thrill to your visit. Join us at Mott's Lounge and be a part of history in the making. Here's to another century of great food, fun, and memories. Mott's Lounge, where every visit is a celebration. For more information, visit us online at mottslounge.com. First shift, Wednesday morning. Well, Guns N' Roses brings us back into the 8 o'clock hour. I'm guessing you're not much of a fan of Guns N' Roses, Larry, but this song's good.
I'm not necessarily I'm not a fan, but I'm not opposed to them.
Yeah.
I think they have some things that they do really well, you know?
I think the beginning of that song that we just heard, the guitar part or whatever, stands out.
I know that song because my daughter and I used to play Guitar Hero, and that was one of the choices. Yeah.
That song played so much during the summer between my senior year, after I graduated from Elgin High School, and as I was beginning my college career at Northern Illinois, the 1 year I spent there. This song was in the heart of its popularity at that time.
Was it?
Heard it so many times, yeah. 8:07 here at WRMN, AM 1410 and WRMN Radio on YouTube. Let's go to the phones. David has waited, believe it or not.
All right, good. Thanks, David.
At 847-931-1410. Good morning, David.
Good morning.
Way to not say hello. Way to change it up a little bit, David. Yeah.
Shifty like.
Yeah, because you were saying about me saying hello, and it's like, that was just something I adopted from Jerome, a guy I talked to years ago. He would always start out, he'd shake his hand, hello. So it's like, yeah, that sounds pretty good. I could come up with my own material too.
Yeah, you need to.
You should, yeah.
You should.
Hello's not very original.
Yeah,
it's true.
No. Yeah, it's just hi or Joe Walsh. How you doing?
Shut up! Uh-oh.
Take that.
Take that. All right, what you got, buddy?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I didn't watch the debate, but from what I hear, just what consequential things did really got said or meant or truthfully told or accomplished or that will be accomplished. Basically, I think for me, it's better to roll around in the mud puddle better use of time than to watch the debate.
Well,
for example, for me, I don't want to criticize other people for what they do, but it's less of a waste of time for me. And hey, at least you realize, oh, simple physics. Oh, I got 30. Oh, wow, I shouldn't do that. But with these political promises and lies and all that, it's beyond a joke. And I have an honest question without getting into a political discussion, which I could care less about. If Donald Trump loses, will he start a civil war?
How's he going to do that? With his people, his followers?
Well, just like with the insurrection that he denies being part of, whatever. But if he loses again, he'll make it sound like in all human history, this is the worst injustice that even the Garden of Eden and the deception by Satan the devil that we don't need God's rulership. I mean, for example. Have a good rest of your day. Talk to you later.
See you, David.
Take care, David. If he does lose, Larry, you were saying during the break, you just kind of hope he finally goes away.
I do.
It would be a second loss. He's not. If he loses this one, obviously he's never going to win. Again, he'll be in his 80s next time, so he's done after this.
I know. I just think that if he's not elected, but he stays out, he's somehow in the process. It keeps other people. It prevents the Republicans from coming up with an electable candidate, because I'm still not positive. I'm not even going to say who's the best candidate. I'm just not sure he's an electable candidate now. I think the anti-Trump feeling is pretty strong. I don't know why. I just feel that way. And I was right when he was elected the first time. I was with Jeff Ward telling him he's going to get elected.
Yeah?
He's going to get elected. And Jeff would keep quoting all these sources that were never wrong. Never wrong.
You just had a gut feeling that he had the momentum back in?
It wasn't gut feeling. I was talking to people who, by their very nature, were everyday people. You know what I mean? And they were talking about how unhappy they were with our country at that time and needing a change and needing a non-politician and all of those things. And I really listened and I thought, all of the polls discount those people. They wouldn't volunteer that anyway, if they're a pollster. They wouldn't. A lot of pro-Trump people don't volunteer that information because they don't want to take the crap that goes along with saying, I support him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I kept telling Jeff, nope. And boy, that election night, you weren't with us that night.
No.
Leah was our producer that night. He was like curled up in the floor. He couldn't believe it. He just couldn't believe it. Yeah.
Mm.
So,
well, my gut feeling after watching that debate, if we're trying to break down who's going to vote for which candidate.
Yes.
And you go into and it appears that it's about 50-50 right now.
Uh-huh.
So let's just say everybody that planned on voting for Donald Trump and plans on voting for Donald Trump is still going to vote for Donald Trump.
Yeah.
And everybody that hates Donald Trump or likes Kamala Harris still is going to vote that way and would never switch to vote for Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
So there's already, and what percentage of the voters would that be? 90%? Probably at least, maybe 90%. Let's say 45% are voting for Trump, never going to change their mind.
Right.
45% are voting Democrat, hate Trump, never going to change their mind. That leaves 10%, if that's accurate.
Who were undecided watching that debate last night. Yes.
So you're really just trying to win the votes of 10%.
I know.
And if that's the case, and if people were watching last night's debate to decide whether Kamala could stand on her 2 feet, hold her own, say anything sensible at all, or would just self-destruct, then I get the feeling that Kamala did the job last night.
Yeah.
And those that would maybe like to vote for Kamala if she seems somewhat sensible,
right,
got a little confirmation last night by her performance. Was that? I mean, you didn't see the whole debate.
No, I didn't. And so anything I say is really based on a snippet. I just don't know how many people are undecided at this time. I haven't encountered people who say to me, boy, I don't know. I just don't know. Other than me saying, I don't like anybody, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't know anybody who says they're both good candidates. I just can't figure out who to vote for. I don't run across them at all. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing that Donald, he just doesn't, if you don't have any opinion on which way you're going to vote, his delivery doesn't make you want to like him. If you have no idea which way to go, and you're just watching the two of them, Kamala seem more engaging and more friendly. But that's always the way it is with anybody debating Trump, except for Joe, because Joe's just out of it. But
he was kind of that. I think people who are Trump supporters would say to you, that's because he's not a politician.
And he ain't messing around here.
And he ain't. However, he was the president for 4 years. This is his second campaign. He could be a little more political. Remember, I was upset for years because when he ran the first time, he said, I can be more presidential, because people were criticizing him and saying he needs to be a little bit more presidential. And he said, I can be that way, but he never was. He never was. He was still that guy on TV, in my mind, telling people they were fired on a reality show. So I don't know. He's not going to be, I'm not going to appreciate him till he stops thinking he's brighter than everybody. That's just a problem with me.
Forget about it.
Yeah, that is a problem with me. That is a problem with me. The most successful, bright people in the world surround themselves with brighter people. That search would never work out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and if he comes off sounding angry and mad, maybe it is because he is angry and mad.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the way his supporters want him to be, because they're angry and mad about the way the country is going right now.
The question is there enough angry and mad people, right, to make him president?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, all he's got to do is point at inflation, right? Yeah. And how overseas matters have been handled.
I think, well,
in his mind.
In his mind.
Yeah.
The price of what was he?
And oil and fracking and all that.
Yeah.
That was brought up a lot last night.
Of course.
And Kamala, now, she kind of changed her tune on that a little bit.
She's kind of, a lot of things, she's kind of, you know, I think if I remember correctly, she was one of the big pushers to defund the police.
That's what Donald was saying, for sure.
She was.
Yeah.
She was. I don't know where all that went. You know, I don't know where all that went. I don't know. And I'm not making a joke about when Nancy Pelosi's husband was attacked in their house, but who would those people think he should have called then? Right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. It always scares me when someone does radical changes during an election, because you don't even know if it's sincere or just, again, people are saying, you're not going to get elected with that. You know that. You can't stand firm on that. But you don't know if once they're there. And now it seems like presidents have more power than I ever thought they did, as far as the things they're able to just make decisions about without any support from the legislative branch. What they think is pretty important. They can do a lot with the stroke of a pen. I mean, Lyndon Johnson got us in a war with the stroke of a pen, kind of. So, yeah.
818-847-931-1410 if you want to call with your thoughts.
Well, I guess John Kennedy got us in the war, but Lyndon Johnson got us really in a war. Yeah.
Let's see what Trusty Pat's got.
Let's see what Pat says.
Hey, Pat, good morning.
Good morning. Hey, I just, what John Marky says, are we better off now, or will we be better off in the future? And I got to go back to the past. I'm sorry, I can't forget that the last year or so of Trump's term was such chaos in Washington. I I remember being embarrassed about our presidency and things. It just was bad. We had so many cabinet members leaving.
Yeah, I know.
Whereas Trump says he's fired.
Yeah.
Well, wait a minute. He hired them. Did he make bad choices? I think it was rather they were giving him advice and he didn't want to take it, so he fired him. That's my take on it, at least. But anyway, I think what you say, Marky, about being 45-45, I think you're right. I think there's a 45 one way, 45 the other. That's never going to change their mind. That debate last night didn't change anything. It was meant to get to the people that hadn't decided. I don't know how many people hadn't decided didn't listen to it. I listened to the whole thing.
Yeah.
I thought Kamala won it at the second she stepped on stage when she walked over past midway and stuck her hand out. He was sheepish at shaking the hands, and I thought she won it right there. And of course, I'm biased that way, one way or the other. I think it's past Trump's era. But anyway, I think that you're right. She was the more friendly candidate overall, and I thought that polls that I saw after, I tried to watch all three. I watched Fox, and I watched CNN, and I watched MSNBC, and I watched CBS too. And the polls I saw said that there was 63% that she won and 37% that Trump had won. So that's what I heard. I think that was a CNN poll that I heard on that. But the fact checks, I heard there was 33 things that he lied about and one that she lied about.
Really?
So that was a CNN fast check thing that went on about 11 o'clock last night, as far as a guy doing fact check things.
CNN.
So,
I was getting ready to say, somebody said fact check. Anything you get from Fox or CNN, I'm not sure about that either, Pat.
Well, I don't know. I think you might say at MSNBC, but there's a couple of good analysts. David Axelrod on CNN is really good. There's a couple of the analysts there I like. A couple of the analysts that are Republican on their panels that they're there, and so it was kind of interesting to hear their comments. But overall, last night, that's my take on things. But
okay.
Thanks.
Thanks, Pat.
Thank you, Pat.
All right.
Trusty Pat checking in.
I think it was a general opinion that she did better.
Yeah.
I think so.
And what did she... Oh, and one thing that I thought she said that, probably resonated with some people was the fact that Donald Trump beats everybody down. Donald Trump, we're going to work together as people. We're going to bring people up. We're going to rise people. At least she tried to make a positive spin on that, where Donald's negative attitude.
Yeah, I know.
Whether it's true or not, or, what does that mean? Give everybody all the money they need so that we're all rising up together?
Maybe.
Yeah.
You never know what that really means, Yeah. Because you can't empower everybody.
But she's trying to, say, I'm positive. We're going to positively work, and make Donald be the negative one.
I know.
I thought that was a good idea for her to do that.
I know. I don't think we ever get to know the real person in a debate at all. I told you that. To me, it's just theater. It's like they have a script. Today, you're going to play the nice politician.
Yeah.
Okay. What's my motivation? 4 years of a job. Good enough. Yeah.
Yeah. 847-931-1410. We did find out last night that they're eating their dogs in Springfield, Ohio, and cats.
Yeah, I know.
That's what Donald said.
I know. Don't make fun of stuff like that.
I'm not.
People will turn on you so quick. Yeah.
Because of the immigration.
I know.
The immigrants are having to eat dogs and cats.
They're having to, or they want to?
They're having to.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
823 here at WRMN.
So we're not letting illegal immigrants in by their very nature are cat eaters, right?
I don't think so.
Okay.
They're struggling to find food.
Oh, yeah.
They see some cats there, dogs. So,
okay.
I guess that's been a big social media thread.
There has been the last few days.
That's been happening?
Yes.
Of course, right off the bat, the mayor of Springfield, somehow got a message to ABC say there's no reputable evidence that that's been taking place here in Springfield, Ohio.
I know.
Probably, even if it's true. Yeah. I'm not sure it's something Donald should have said like that in the debate last night.
No, because you know what it sounds like? It just sounds like political rhetoric, right? That's what it's like. Couldn't be, you know what I mean? It's, yeah. I don't know, Mark.
Well, let's go to the phones and take a call from Michael at 847-931-1410. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good. How you guys doing?
We're okay. What's up,
man? Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Just calling about the debate. I heard the last comment, so it prompted me to call. And I heard a little bit about how you guys talked earlier. I think what people forget is that in the mainstream media, something like 89% of the coverage on Donald Trump is negative, and vice versa, it's positive on Kamala Harris. So people already have a bit of a warped perspective just because the media is so powerful in the stories that are put out there. And last night, who was actually bullied last night? If you look at that objectively, it was kind of a 3-on-1 situation where comments that Trump made were immediately rebutted or tried to be proven false. When on the other hand, there was very obvious things, again, the Charlottesville lie and all these things that have been proven false, that Trump never said that there was good. All these things were brought up again, and there was no comment back. Now, he didn't portray himself as well as I think a lot of people would have liked to seen, but it's hard when you are always bullied and you're in that sort of street fight mentality. And again, to be presidential, you should rise above some of that. But I think the people that were going to support him again aren't changing, and vice versa. People who are going to support her probably aren't going to change much either at the end of the day. But it would be nice to see, and maybe it's impossible, to see sort of an unbiased, debate of the issues. We have 4 years where he was president. Granted, during COVID, the world got turned upside down. So the end of his tenure, was everybody was sort of scrambling. But we had no new wars. We had a good economy. We were moving in the right direction. And you said something earlier, Mark. You said Kamala's the new kid on the block. She has a record.
Yeah.
She was voted the most liberal senator left of Bernie Sanders. She was the one who cast the deciding vote for the Green New Deal and what they call the Inflation Reduction Act, which actually skyrocketed inflation. So we have a record out there, and so people can look at it and say, hey, were you better off 4 years ago, or are you now? Objectively, there's no measure that you can say you're better off now. The world's on fire with 2 separate wars. Our border has been open. Certain towns in this country have been overrun with illegal immigration. It's put a massive drain on city services. But we think, it's not going to come to us. It's just going to stay at these other towns. So, I think the records are clear. Let's talk about the records. That's what doesn't get talked about enough. Personality does.
Yeah. Those are some good points, Mike. Well said. Well said.
Yep. So, and I'm going to say one more thing, because for me, the abortion issue, it did get brought up. Mm-hmm. And I think Donald Trump did a service to the country by installing some judges that put this back to the states, and now states can decide. And she did not want to answer that question. He tried to say, are you okay with 7th, 8th, and 9th month? Because it is proven that those things do happen. And, if we want to value life as a country, but we also, I think, want to be aware of that this should be a state's issue and these kind of things. So that's an important issue for a lot of people who consider themselves Christians, as myself. And, I don't profess to have the perfect answer for it, other than we need to value life. and that's what I think we should be doing in general. So I'll leave it at that. That's my 2 cents.
Thanks for calling, Mike. Appreciate you, man.
Take care.
For me, I guess.
All right.
So,
Have a good day.
all right. Bye.
Good points by Mike Hopkins. Yeah. It's 8:29 here at WRMN. Yeah, Donald kept being asked, challenge, would he veto something about abortion? And he kept saying, not going to be an issue.
Not going to be an issue.
I never have that. I don't want to answer that question because it's not a question I'll ever be able to answer.
It's going to be a state issue. A state
Yeah.
issue. Yeah.
So, all right, it's 8:30. We take some more phone calls if you want to call us when we get back from the break. Probably go over the Pick 6 games just to let you know what games we're looking at this week as we talk about SB Nation. And we'll get ready for our 9/11 coverage from the Hemmons, courtesy of the Elgin Fire Department Facebook page. We'll check some YouTube comments and some Image 360 information line comments, too. We're headed for a high of about 86 today, lots of sunshine. Thanks for listening to the Talk of the Town, WRMN, AM 1410. Good morning.
With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Kernan, brought to you by the U.S. Postal Service. In an effort to address the educational needs of Americans without a four-year college degree, Illinois is receiving an $8 million boost from the Apprenticeships Build America grants. The funding is part of a $244 million initiative by the U.S. Department of Labor. 57-year-old David R. Glass facing severe legal repercussions after being charged with multiple felonies related to child pornography. The McHenry County Sheriff's Office, in collaboration with the Illinois Attorney General's Office, charging Glass with 10 counts of reproducing or selling child pornography and 10 counts of possession. Elgin is set to commemorate Patriot Day with a solemn remembrance ceremony September 11th at the Hemmons Cultural Center. The event is scheduled to begin at 9 a.m. when will feature the Elgin Fire Department, Elgin Police Department, and honored guests presenting flags. Participants will be treated to a rendition of the national anthem by Larkin High School students, heartfelt remarks from city officials, and representatives of the American Legion Post 57. With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Kernan.
What's better than one win? 3 wins. With Straight Savings, you keep your own phone, get one line for only $25 a month with real unlimited data, and get rewarded with a $200 phone credit after 12 months. It's a win-win-win. Head to Walmart or visit straighttalk.com today. Switch to Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Straight Savings Plan enrollment requires compatible unlocked device and new line of service. Bonus device credit requires 12 months of active service. Offer ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met. Taxes and fees apply. For network management practices, see Straight Talk's terms and conditions.
Progressive presents Renter's MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Tom Kelly's carbon fiber mountain bike. Because more than riding his carbon fiber mountain bike, Tom loves telling people about his carbon fiber mountain bike. Friends, family, even a local barista knows about his carbon fiber mountain bike. And that's why Tom's carbon fiber mountain bike, if you haven't heard about it, is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Progressive presents the Sports Flash on News Talk Radio 1410 WRMN.
High and deep to center. Back on it is Robert. This one's gone. Home run, Bo Naylor.
Guardians Radio 5-3 the win over the White Sox. Loss number 112 for the Sox, who suffered their franchise record 13th consecutive home loss and 15th in their last 17 games overall. The Sox approaching the Major League modern record for most losses in a season that was set by the Mets in 1962 with 120. The Cubs pounded the Dodgers 10-4 at Dodger Stadium. Chicago took a 3-0 lead out of the first. Michael Busch 4 for 5 with a homer. He scored 3 runs. Cody Bellinger had 3 RBI, including a 2-run homer. The Cubs offense broke out for 16 hits. Every player got at least one. The Cubs look to extend a 2-game winning streak tonight when the series continues. Chicago 5 games out of a National League wild card spot.
Bundle auto and home, renters or condo, and save with Progressive.
I'm Chuck Sanders on News Talk Radio 1410 WRMN.
Timmy, everybody. Great job. Next up for our 5th grade class recital, we have Samantha.
10 times better performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge Motor Oil gives your engine 10 times better high-stress performance. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance. Now through December 28th, Castrol Edge and Edge High Mileage Motor Oil are on rollback at Walmart.
Claim based on sequence 9 test under high-load conditions versus API SP test limits.
Progressive presents Renter's MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Joe Fallon's bedroom mini fridge. Sure, this pint-sized chiller's max capacity is 3 soda cans, but what it lacks in stature, it makes up in cooling strength. Each beverage a perfect 37 degrees every time. And the 2 feet Joe walks to get a drink, priceless. That's why his mini fridge is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
From the pages of the Elgin newspapers of 100 years ago today, these are the headlines brought to you by the Elgin History Museum.
This is Alan Walters reporting the Elgin News from September 11th, 1924. The wrath of a woman scorned today suddenly terminated the liberty of Walter Pruitt, alias Walter Eldred, escaped convict from the Southern Illinois Penitentiary at Menard, where he had been serving a 1 to 10 year sentence for forgery. Pruitt is now on his way back to the cell from which he escaped in 1922 after he had served 1 year of his sentence. And today, Mrs. Julia Pruitt is repentant, sorry, and sad that in a fit of anger she had tipped police off to the fact that her husband was an escaped convict. On the other hand, Pruitt, disgusted because his wife has thus failed him and violated a confidence, as he terms it, states that he isn't at all sad to be going back to prison and leave his bride of a year ago. According to police, Mrs. Pruitt, living under the name of Mrs. Eldred, has repeatedly threatened her husband with exposure when he had erred in his conduct. Whatever it was to incite her to call the police and tip them off is a question the police don't profess to know. When the police appeared at her home at 215 1/2 Division Street, Mrs. Pruitt tearfully admitted that she had called the police, but then and there attempted to deny her story. Pruitt, surprised that his woman had tipped police off, immediately confessed and willingly gave himself up.
Elgin 100 Years Ago is a presentation of the Elgin History Museum. Be sure to visit the museum located at 360 Park Street in Elgin, open Wednesday through Saturdays 11 to 4. You can also listen to Elgin 100 Years Ago at www.elginhistory.org.
When my eyes beheld an eerie sight, for my monster from his slab began to rise, and suddenly, to my surprise,
he did the mash.
He did the monster mash.
The monster mash.
It was a graveyard smash.
He did the mash.
It caught on in a flash.
He did the mash.
He did the monster mash. From my laboratory in the
6:36 here at WRMN. Welcome back to the first shift. Studio 14 downtown Elgin. We've been debating the debate for most of the show today. The reason I'm playing the Monster Mash, does it make you think about Halloween?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we've got a couple of weeks till then.
I know. That's not why I'm playing it.
Oh, why?
I'm not sure I want to think about Halloween
Is there
right now.
something about, what's his name, Bobby Pickett? Was that his name? Is there something in today's date that has to do with him?
September 10th, yesterday in 1962, the BBC banned Bobby Boris Pickett and the Crypt Kickers' single Monster Mash, saying it was offensive.
Really?
Yeah.
Those Brits are so snooty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
8:37 here at WRMN.
They send us the Beatles, we send them Bobby Boris.
We'll trade you. He's the player to be named later.
Exactly right. Yeah.
8:37 here at WRMN. We've kind of worn out the debate a little bit.
Yeah, we have.
I thought we'd have actually more people that want to talk about that.
Well, and we can if they want to.
Yeah.
Right?
But I guess it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
You could talk more about it with Sonar this afternoon. He likes to talk politics, and I'm sure he'll be all over it.
I'm sure he will. If you want an unbiased look at it.
Yeah. A political talk show. Sonar and Ben Demoni
Exactly
and Boquist
right.
From 4 until 6.
Certainly open to your opinion about things.
I had Jamie Mosser on the show yesterday morning.
Oh, the state's attorney.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And we talked a little bit about the free speech zones over there. And she said that was nothing that she suggested or approved of.
Sure.
And that was something, and also it was something that the Kane County Board should have discussed as a whole board.
It shouldn't have been the chairman of the board's decision. I know.
Corinne Pirog, who was then on Sonar's show yesterday afternoon, I don't know. I was listening to Sonar's show. I was listening to her on the show, and
that's quite a day. I mean,
I finally got out of here. I was on my way home listening, actually.
But I'll toot the station's horn again. And yesterday, you had a birthday celebration, 75th birthday.
Yeah.
You had the state's attorney on, Kane County State's attorney.
Right.
And the chair of the county board on later in the day.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good day.
That is. That is kind of a demonstration of what we're trying to achieve.
Exactly. I think it's a great, it really is a really good example of what's trying to be done here and what was done yesterday. So it's not just trying.
And I haven't sent a message yet, but I get when we have one of these candidates on, or somebody like Mosser, I usually get a couple of texts saying, nice job with Jamie this morning, but she told some lies. Things like that. And I would say that to those that listen to those interviews and feel that way, you could use this show as your platform to talk about things like that. Of course. It doesn't have to be you calling Jamie and saying you're a liar.
No.
That's not true. You could call us and say why you think Jamie Mosser was a liar yesterday if you thought she lied about something.
I mean, it's hard for me to be much help with that if I don't listen to the,
Yeah.
But that doesn't make any difference. I don't have to agree or disagree with any caller. You're right. They could use it for that, especially on a more local basis. I don't think calling Donald Trump or Kamala a liar on our show is going to alter anything like that. I don't think.
That's why, it's kind of cool that we can get into local politics now.
I love
and we have people that want to, like Sonar and Ben and whatnot. So,
Corinne
Pirog was saying that her reasoning was that people were aggressively passing this stuff out. People were just coming to pay their taxes, and they didn't want to be bothered necessarily. They already are turning in a bill for their taxes. They're not in the best mood anyway, and then someone's going to hand them something. So she wanted to,
she was just looking out for the people.
Looking out for the people. Yeah.
And it just happened to be those people were being upset by things that were negative from her view at things. Just happened to be that way.
And it just so happens that the pamphlet was anti-Corinne Pirog, right?
That's all. People are upset about paying their bills, and I don't want them to be upset about bad things about me, too.
Yeah.
Why double down on this?
They're going to be mad at me because of the taxes. And they're going to be mad at me because of what they're saying about me when they read this.
I mean, if you didn't know better, you'd almost feel like the decision was kind of self-serving, if you didn't know better.
Yeah. I don't know her, and it's probably mean for me to say this, but I was just saying during the break, Larry, that she comes off just a little bit on the, I don't know, uppity side.
Really?
In a way. Just the way I don't know. That's just to me. But
well, I see you as every man, Mark.
And maybe that's my problem.
Well, I don't think it's a problem. If you felt that way, I bet you weren't the only person that felt that way. Yeah.
Maybe so. 847-931-1410. David wants to double dip. Let's see what he has this time for us. Hey, David, good morning.
Hi, I forgot to say, well, as I said before, Camilla, Trump, Donald Harris, whatever. So they started work on the dam in Carpentersville, removing it.
Right.
In case you didn't know.
I did know. I don't know that it's really going to impact any decisions that are made down here on the Fox River. Do you, Larry? I mean, it'd be one thing if you could see instant, like in the next year, all the changes that the people say are going to happen as a result of the dam being removed, all the negative things that are going to happen.
Right.
If you could see that right off the bat, then you could say, see, we're not going to do it now. But it's going to take several years for the river to change the way that people think it's going to change.
And also several years to determine whether some of the concerns about doing it come true.
Right.
I mean, it's not my worry, but somebody mentioned me, and I think they're right, they were talking about all the years that the river, when I was young, was not a wonderful feature. It was a bad thing, used as a dump, used as everything. A lot of that silt that's going to be exposed when the river goes down, I don't know how good it is to have that stuff exposed.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's going to happen with that, and if it's going to have to take, if it's going to if it's going to call for corrections and we're going to have to get that out of there. We're going to have to do so-and-so. It's going to take a while for us to really realize, was this a great idea? And do the fish really like going upstream? We don't know, right?
Or are they okay with the way things were?
They're pretty cool with this. I was kind of a big fish in my own little pond right here. Now, people from Aurora are swimming up, and I don't like it.
Those Aurora fish.
They're tough. Yeah.
Because from an ecological standpoint, I think the dam was never meant to be there. So there's going to be many negative consequences because of something so unnatural being there. Then it's going to take a while. Maybe it'll never truly be what it used to be.
We were never meant to be here either, David. So.
We were never meant as a human race to be dying or getting sick or having any political thing. But right now, it is what it is, but it will change for an incomprehensible good in the future. So have a good rest of your week.
Thanks, Dave.
Thanks, David.
Bye.
8:45 here at WRMN. I mean, I just think that with the dam situation, there's more that's already known by the dams the way they are, right?
So there is a known. That we have a known.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there are a lot of questions that we won't find out the answers to until it's too late if they're true.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, you can't put them back in.
Mm-hmm. I don't think it's the clear question. Both sides. People that think only about the ecology. I'm not sure that they understand what being only concerned. And I understand people that are like Gary Swick.
Gary Swick, yeah. Friends of the Fox River.
There's no question where he feels, and in his idea, the good overcomes any concerns on the other side. And I'm not taking away from him. I'm just thinking that the always and nevers in the world always befuddle me. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
This is always the better way to do it. Yeah, but what if so-and-so? Well, we're not going to think about that. I just don't like always and nevers. And I run into that problem with a lot of issues that come up when people are like, whatever, this should never happen. Yeah, but what if so-and-so? Well, we're not going to worry about that. Should never happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
8:46 here at WRMN. Robles Ralph says, Happy Wednesday, Marky B and First Shifters, a day of remembering the victims and heroes of the 9/11 attacks on our country.
Right.
Never forget. And here soon, right after Larry and I are finished, we're going to try to connect with the Elgin Fire Department Facebook page. It might already be slightly in progress. We'll do the best we can to link it up the best we can. Let's see. The Commander Mark Smith says, Happy Wednesday, never forget.
Amen.
And a final cruise night tonight.
I think I might see him. Are you thinking about going over there?
I think we are.
All right.
Yeah. American Legion from 5 until 8, open to all. Have a great day, says the Commander.
Nice place to grab a sandwich from the Legion ladies.
Yeah.
Yep.
Out in the parking lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the bar's open.
Right.
If you need something, you can get it.
Mm-hmm.
It's all good.
Right. Yeah. American Legion Post 57 is at 820 North Liberty Street in Elgin on the east side.
Yes.
No nickname John. Don't think I ever got his bad joke out there, so let's see what he's got.
Let's go with it, man.
Good morning, First Shifters. I'm up late watching debate stuff, so I slept in. So from a friend, a Fruit of the Loom lawyer filed a court action against Haynes. He had a briefcase. A Fruit of the Loom lawyer filed a court action against Haynes. He had a briefcase.
Please be quiet.
This needs to stop now.
Shut up!
I don't know, Larry. 5?
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to go with that.
Second straight 5, no nickname John.
But I think it would have been better if you would have said he had a briefcase.
A briefcase?
A briefcase. Like the lawyer has a briefcase.
Gotcha.
And then let the listener go, brief. Haynes, Fruit of the Loom.
So bad delivery on my part.
It may have been. It may have been.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, my bad. No nickname, John. Maybe I cost you some points.
So
there.
maybe it's a 5 with an asterisk.
Yeah. Okay. I'm
See what I mean, though?
Yeah.
Don't be like some of the politicians we don't like. Never underestimate the ability of the listener to figure things out.
Okay.
Okay.
We have a different Brendan checking in. He says, Siobhan, as I pronounced it, is pronounced like Siobhan.
Oh.
It's Gaelic for Sharon.
Really?
Yeah.
See that?
Thanks.
Just when you think you can't, you might not learn anything, you will.
Mm-hmm. Daisy V says, sweet is the memory of distant friends, like the mellow rays of the departing sun. It falls tenderly yet sadly on the heart. That from Washington Irving. Thank you, Daisy V. Brendan, the real Brendan, says, I'm having breakfast burrito and iced coffee this morning at McDonald's.
Good for you, Brendan.
Way to go, Brendan.
It was good meeting him.
Yeah. First Shift Sherry says, well, better think it's not about me, it's about everyone and about the country. Says First Shift Sherry.
I understand, but many people look at how it affects them and think that is the parameter of the country.
Right.
It's made up of a whole bunch of me's.
That's right. Yeah. And if everybody feels like it is about me, then they become the majority.
They're the country.
Then that's the country, right?
I know. I mean, there are some decisions that have to be made for the betterment of everyone. It's just really hard to sort them out without being better for a certain segment of it.
Yeah. What segment of the population is better off than they were 4 years ago?
I don't know.
Let's see. Who else do we have here? Sweet Sandy says, never forget 9/11. Honor and bless all those who lost their lives.
Yes.
And all who were affected. That day changed our world forever. Dan Maloney says, Michael's points are well articulated and focus on the election decision beyond personalities of the candidates. Well done, says Dan Maloney. About Mike's comments a while ago. Crazy Kathy says, Monster Mash is a neat song I would dance to. Huh. And No Nickname John says, I'm the Roger Maris of bad jokes and puns.
Yes.
Okay. 8:51 here at WRMN. Pick 6 sheets are available. Well, I guess I'll put some. I'll have some ready.
They're available. We just don't know what we're going to do with them.
You can't get them, but they're made.
Yeah.
And the games that I put on the Pick 6, I'll have more information tomorrow. I got to get with our web guy, Michael Patty, and see the best way of handling this. There's an email address that you should go to, I'm sure our website, you can see the games once he gets them up there.
Yeah.
But the best way to actually make your picks, we have to determine today. So I'll work on that. We have the Indianapolis Packers, the Indianapolis Colts against the Green Bay Packers. In Green Bay.
That wasn't breaking news. We didn't.
No.
Yeah.
Green Bay has moved to Indianapolis.
That's right. Exactly.
The Colts are 0-1. They lost to Houston, though. 29-27 must have been a pretty good game.
Must have been.
Green Bay 0-1 also had a good game. Their game against Philly last Friday night was a pretty good game. Packers look like they're going to be pretty good, but then they lost Jordan Love at the end of the game.
Right.
So now what's going to happen? I think Malik Willis is their new quarterback in place of Love, I think. So does that affect your pick of Green Bay at home against the Colts, who are a pretty decent team, I think? New Orleans Saints at Dallas. I get the feeling that most people are going to lean towards Dallas in this game, but the Saints did win 47-10, albeit against Carolina. Is Carolina as bad as they were last year?
I don't know that. I told you as we started this.
Yeah.
I have never started a season knowing less about it.
I hear you. I'm just going by the scores I saw on opening day.
I know.
And some things started to come back to me. Like, oh, yeah, they have him. Oh, yeah, they were good last year. Things like that. The Saints, David Carr never really turned me on as a quarterback.
Me either.
But they're at Dallas.
There was a first-round pick that never seemed to be like an outstanding guy. I think he was a first-round pick. I believe he was.
Or is it Derek Carr?
Oh, that could
David's his brother, who was the number 1 overall pick in the draft back in 2002.
Okay.
And was the last first pick in the draft to win his first game as an NFL starter.
I knew
before Caleb Williams did Sunday.
Yeah. Well,
so there you go. But then he went on. But then he went on to have a crappy career.
He really did, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
San Francisco at Minnesota. 49ers still look like they're going to be one of the better teams in the NFC.
They looked pretty impressive.
The Jets didn't look too bad. Did you think?
I'm biased.
Yeah, I know you don't like Rodgers, but I thought Rodgers played okay.
He did okay. Enough to lose.
San Francisco is good. You try to beat San Francisco at San Francisco.
Well, Rodgers makes a lot of money. They should be good.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Fine.
Okay.
Seattle at New England.
Right now he's hanging upside down in a cave with bats trying to figure out what went wrong.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Seahawks and the Patriots. Now, there's a game I know not very little about, but they both did win their first game.
Yeah.
And the Patriots it was a surprising win because they won at Cincinnati with a brand new coach and a brand new quarterback and everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Rams and the Arizona Cardinals. Los Angeles Rams at Arizona. Arizona held their own against Buffalo at Buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
Almost beat them. Rams played decent against Detroit.
They did play decent. I thought they played well enough to beat a whole lot of teams.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Sunday night game, the Chicago Bears and the Houston Texans, a pair of 1-0 teams going at it.
Right.
You have the guts to pick the Bears at Houston on Sunday
What's
night.
the spread on that? Do you know?
Nope.
Okay.
But I got to believe Houston's going to be about a 5-point favorite.
Yeah, maybe.
I bet.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. Okay, it's 8:55. Got about 3 minutes left in the show. We got to talk about SB Nation.
I was getting ready to ask you that.
Sure.
You want to do it now that we're talking sports?
Yeah.
Hey, think about Pick Six. Think about sports. Think about SB Nation. There's a blog for any sport you're interested in. To get to SB Nation, get the app for your smartphone or tablet. You can always log in at sbnation.com. When you get there, please stop by the Nights on Ice blog. See what everybody Shepard Price writing about. Then you can go anywhere. A lot of stuff going on with the Cubs. A lot of stuff going on with the Bears. A whole lot of stuff going on with the Bears. There's a blog for anything. You don't have to leave an opinion if you're a little timid about that. But what I like best is you can go to SB Nation when it works best for you. So do us all a favor. Check out SB Nation and see if sports blogging is for you.
2.5 minutes and 2 phone calls. What are our chances? Let's see. Good morning. Welcome to the show.
G'day, Marky B and Larry.
Our chances might not be very good. Derica calls in. Hi, Derica. We're down to our final little bit of time here. How are you doing?
I'm good. I got a surprise in the mail today.
You did? What'd you get?
Well, when I came home from treatment, there was this great big brown envelope in my letterbox. And when I got it open, there was some photos and 2 thank you notes. Since earlier this year, I sent a little girl in America in Kentucky in Pineville, or near Pineville, a present for her birthday. She turned 9. And I sent her a toy koala and some Australian lollies and chocolates for her birthday, and a card that I made for her.
Cool.
Yes.
For her birthday. And just yesterday, or not yesterday, today, I finally got a reply back from them. The photos were a photo of the little girl opening her presents and cuddling her toy koala, and her cousins and her little sister, and they enjoyed the lollies and the chocolates. The thank you note. One was written by her cousin Zach, he's only 10, and the other note was written by her auntie. And the auntie said that they took some of the Australian lollies to school for show and tell, so the other kids could try it.
That's pretty cool. She sent a koala and some chocolate.
Yes.
To Kentucky.
And lollies.
Yeah.
Yeah, lollies.
It's Pineville. It's not Pikeville. It's Pineville.
Pineville, Kentucky, yeah.
Yeah. What's the name of the guy there? Something.
Brian O'Brien?
Brian O'Brien. I like that radio name a lot. I like that a whole bunch.
One of these days, we'll catch up with Brian O'Brien.
We've got to, right?
Yep. Or we'll talk about it forever. Anyway.
All right.
All right, Derek, we're out of time.
We got to go, hon. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
Have a great day.
Take care. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye.
All right, buddy. I'll see you on Friday.
Yeah, we'll do the Pick 6 Friday.
I'll see you tonight, maybe over at the Legion.
Oh, yeah. Let's meet up at the Legion later.
You bet, pal. Thanks,
right,
everybody.
Take care. Thanks for the phone calls. In just a couple of minutes, I'm going to hit the top of the hour news and then try to get out of that and go to the Hemmons and see where they are with the presentation on the Elgin Fire Department Facebook page. So bear with me a little bit here, and hopefully we'll have a little 9/11 remembrance ceremony coming up And if there's anything I can show you on our camera, we'll do that as well. Keep it right here on WRMN AM 1410 and WRMN Radio on YouTube. We still have one more hour of the first shift, one way or another, on the way.
Columbia College of Missouri Elgin campus is intent in their commitment to open doors and support those who strive for excellence. Too many people have been made to feel that higher education isn't a place for them, that it is someone else's dream. But Columbia College of Missouri has changed all that. With individualized attention and ongoing support, Columbia College knows a future built by you is a future built for you. Columbia College of Missouri Elgin campus, your new starts now. Visit ccis.edu.
Businesses come in all shapes and sizes. Integrity doesn't. For more than a century, the Better Business Bureau has set the standards for how businesses should operate honestly and ethically. So when you're looking for a business you can trust, check to see who's BBB accredited and who isn't. Always choose the better business. Look for the BBB seal because it's looking out for you. That's why it's the sign of a better business. And find a better business anytime at bbb.org.
Your hometown radio station since 1949. We are WRMN AM 1410, Elgin time, 9 o'clock.
With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Cruden. Brought to you by Sky Rizzy. Elgin is set to commemorate Patriot Day with a solemn remembrance ceremony September 11th at the Hemmons Cultural Center. The event is scheduled to begin at 9 a.m. and will feature the Elgin Fire Department, Elgin Police Department, and honored guests presenting flags. Participants will be treated to a rendition of the national anthem by Larkin High School students, heartfelt remarks from city officials, and representatives of the American Legion Post 57. In an effort to address the educational needs of Americans without a four-year college degree, Illinois is receiving an $8 million boost from the Apprenticeships Build America grants. The funding is part of a $244 million initiative by the U.S. Department of Labor. 57-year-old David R. Glass facing severe legal repercussions after being charged with multiple felonies related to child pornography. The McHenry County Sheriff's Office, in collaboration with the Illinois Attorney General's Office, charging Glass with 10 counts of reproducing or selling child pornography and 10 counts of possession. With your 1410 WRMN News Flash, I'm Sean Cruden.
What's better than one win? 3 wins. With Straight Savings, you keep your own phone, get one line for only $25 a month with real unlimited data, and get rewarded with a $200 phone credit after 12 months. It's a win-win-win. Head to Walmart or visit straighttalk.com today. Switch to Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Straight Savings Plan enrollment requires compatible unlocked device and new line of service. Bonus device credit requires 12 months of active service. Offer ends if eligibility requirements are no longer met.
By the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we walked were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
All uniform members, order, arms. Elgin Fire Department Chaplain Roger Pollock with the invocation. You may be seated.
I am a Christian, and so I'm going to pray according to my faith. If you believe in a different way, during this prayer, I just ask that you meditate on what we're remembering today, the horrible events of that first 9/11 tragedy. Holy Father, have mercy. We remember today how hatred turns to violence, how precious lives were destroyed by a terrorist attack, how firefighters and police officers, brave men and women, rushed into buildings to save lives, only to find that they couldn't save themselves. Be with today parents who mourn the loss of children robbed from the love and care of their parents, husband and wives who saw their marriages destroyed by an evil flying an airplane, and the firefighters But Father, may this day of remembrance be a day where in our prayers we plead for you to do what we and everyone in the United States to love and care for each other. Whether we remember just the teachers and students killed in Georgia, or the 2 last week just doing their job, instill in us the desire to be like those who would rush into hallways in the Pentagon, stop hijackers in an airplane from hitting another building, willing to give of ourselves to fulfill the needs of others. Holy Father, help us never to forget who gave up their lives on 9/11.
Elgin Mayor David Captain with opening remarks.
Good morning and welcome, everyone. It's been a long time, 23 years, that we've had this ceremony for a number of years to remember the people that fell on the Twin Towers and to honor their memory. I always think about what I want to say and what kind of message that I want to send out. I'm going to send a little bit of a different one today. And I think that I'm going to steal a little bit from a speech that was done many, many years ago. And I think the words are very appropriate for us. And I want to thank that Abraham probably wrote the 269 best words ever written in the English language and on a piece of paper. The world will little note nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. It is for us, the living, rather to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they fought here, have thus far so nobly advanced. It is rather for us to be here dedicated to the great task remaining before us. I'm going to ask the question, what is that task? What is our task going to be for the future? I think we have to get a grasp of what terrorism has changed, what's become the world order for us. We have to look inward, where terrorism now exists in the United States. We have to worry more about what happens at our churches, at our parks, and at our schools than we have to worry about terrorists coming into our country. I believe our task is to move on and to address the terrorism that is in this country. The world is changing. The first responders now don't necessarily have to be police and fire. They're school teachers. Some of the first responders are middle school students who try to stem the blood of the flow from their teacher as he was shot in their classroom. Those things should not be happening in this country, and we as a community and as a nation have to address that and do whatever it takes for us to bring the peace and safety to the people that live here. The people that passed on Twin Towers, that was their job. They did their job They went into it willingly, and we need to do the same thing. We have to make whatever sacrifices we have to do to make this happen, but I think it's up for our best interest to be able to turn the tide that we are heading in a bad, bad direction. I think that the police and fire in the city of Elgin have done a fantastic job to make us safe. Now it's up for us to help them do a better job. I look forward to doing this for the next 2 years, and I think that this city has a great future, but I know that we have every day when our kids go to school, we have to have that in our mind, that we have to create a safe place for them, and that's going to be our task. God bless everybody. God bless our police and fire and our first responders for the job that they do every day.
Elgin Mayor Dave Captain.
Fire Chief Robert Sagan with a memorial message.
And now Robert Sagan, Elgin Fire Chief, to the podium at the Hemmons.
Good morning. As we gather today, 23 years after the events of September 11, 2001, we reflect on a day that remains etched in our collective memory. Though the sights and sounds of that fateful day may have softened over time, we can never forget the towers being struck by planes, or the horrific images of flames, smoke, and debris cascading down from the buildings. We remember the attack on the Pentagon and the tragic crash of United Flight 93. The piercing sounds of sirens as first responders, police, fire, and EMS rush to aid those in need are forever ingrained in our minds. We remember the heroic rescue attempts in the days and months that followed in New York and Virginia, and we carry with us the stories of both tragedy and triumph that have become part of our national consciousness. However, these ceremonies are more than a commemoration of past events and tragedies. They represent the enduring values that emerged from that dark day: humanity, perseverance, selflessness, love, dedication, and honor. Today, we pay tribute not only to the 2,977 innocent lives lost, but also to those who survived, those who endured unimaginable loss, those who faced overwhelming challenges as they worked to move forward. Our nation has stood together, transforming grief into strength and adversity into resilience. These ceremonies also commemorate the actions of police officers, firefighters, and paramedics from New York City, Arlington, Virginia, and Shanksville, Pennsylvania, who did their job that day to levels beyond what could have ever been anticipated. They also recognize the everyday actions of local and state first responders who work on the front lines in every community within this country to safeguard our citizens. But we must also recognize the members of the armed services who are truly at the tip of the spear, who are living and working in foreign lands, protecting us from all new and ongoing threats. These servicemen and women have worked tirelessly since days after the attacks to provide a blanket of safety and security for our country, for which we owe them a tremendous debt of gratitude. So as we once again gather together to reflect on the events and aftermath of that September day, we must continue to look forward. We must continue to use the memories of that time in our nation's history as an ongoing catalyst to move forward and do great things. The Elgin Police Department and the Elgin Fire Department have incorporated lessons learned from those events to increase our operational effectiveness and enhance the quality of service we provide to the Elgin community. So it is my honor to stand before you today and ask you to join me in the belief that the good of our country and its citizens will not only endure but prevail, and that our memories of loss and sorrow move each one of us to a greater sense of duty, loyalty, and self-sacrifice for the good of all. Thank you.
You're listening to live coverage from the Hemmons Auditorium in downtown Elgin of the annual Patriot Day Remembrance Ceremony. You heard from Fire Chief Rob Sagan, and now it's time for Elgin Police Chief Anna Lally.
Good morning, everyone. On September 11th, 2001, 2,977 people lost their lives in a horrific terrorist attack, and in just a few hours, lives were forever changed. As cities across the nation today pause for a few moments to remember and honor the victims and provide comfort and support to the loved ones that they have left behind who will never forget that day, we also remind ourselves that the strength of the human spirit is kept alive in ceremonies such as this that provides hope for all of us. Today, as we remember the first responders who lost their lives and those who continue to suffer from 9/11 related illnesses, we are reminded that these women and men personified what it means to be a hero, and their undeniable commitment to the protection of others' lives will never be forgotten. 23 years later, these men and women continue to be a beacon of hope and humanity for first responders around the world today, who continue to work tirelessly for the safety of their communities, including the men and women of the Elgin Police and Fire Departments. And for a generation of people, where you were on the morning of 9/11 will always be ingrained in our memories. As a young police officer with only 5 years in the profession, I remember the feeling of disbelief and uncertainty. But I also remember the determination that I and my fellow officers had to keep our community safe, and knowing that we could help to provide a sense of comfort and safety to them. And for some people, they will only know the sadness that was felt around the world that day, from books, television, the internet, or from personal stories of people who survived that day. Stories such as a woman who was going to travel from another state to the Twin Towers to meet friends for a surprise breakfast. But because a family member called and said they were coming to visit her, she ended up not going on this trip. And because of this very small decision, she was not in the towers on that fateful day. Or a man whose usual routine put him in the Twin Towers every morning, but because he was running late on that day, he was not there. Or a man who had minor car trouble and had to wait over an hour for an appointment at a car dealership. And when he finished, while driving to work at the Twin Towers, he saw a plane strike the towers. Or the woman who was inside the towers working but decided to step outside to meet a colleague. And when she stepped out of the elevator, she was told that a plane had just struck the building. Call it fate or divine intervention, these stories remind us for those who lost their lives that day, their heroic and selfless actions should always be remembered. And today, as we reflect on this tragedy, it is important that we continue to always come together as a community to support each other, rely on each other, and provide a sense of hope, care, and resiliency while being steadfast in our dedication to keeping our community and nation safe and secure for all. Thank you.
Elgin Police Chief Anna Lally at the Hemmons Auditorium.
American Legion Post 57 Commander Mark Smith with a memorial message.
Commander Mark Smith to the stage now on WRMN.
Thank you. A new generation has arrived. The infants, toddlers, and young children of 9/11 are now adults. Some have lost parents on that day. Others lost siblings and friends. Some have served in the military or became first responders as a tribute to those who were lost. Much like those who came of age as bombs were dropped at Pearl Harbor, the 9/11 generation did not seek to grow up during war. Evil came to America, and Americans responded. 23 years for many is a long time, but the feelings that most Americans experienced on that Tuesday morning in September are still remembered by those old enough to have understood the significance of 4 airlines piercing through the heart of our homeland. Shock, sorrow, anger. Strong emotions that would quickly turn to resolve. This was a criminal act, and the terrorists behind it would have to pay. On September 20th, 2001, President George W. Bush told the American people, "Our war on terror begins with al-Qaeda, but it does not end there." 17 days later, the United States and its allies launched Operation Enduring Freedom to take down terrorists and topple the regime in Afghanistan, which enabled them. In 2011, al-Qaeda leader Osama bin Laden would meet his fate in Pakistan courtesy of the Navy SEALs. Many of his cohorts, those most responsible for 9/11, would be killed on battlefields or detained at Guantanamo Bay. The American Legion was a strong supporter of the global war on terrorism and remains a staunch advocate for its fighters and family members of those who served. However, the nation's largest veterans organization is also aware of the enormous toll that 23 years of war and open-ended authorizations for the use of military force have had on service members and their families. Ending forever wars does not mean ending America's love and admiration for those who fought them or remembering the heroes and victims of 9/11. It means preventing future terrorist attacks by correcting the most important failure cited by the official 9/11 Commission, the failure of imagination. Never again should Americans underestimate the depravity of militant terrorist organizations. Never again should we allow transportation and other infrastructures be so easily exploited by those who wish harm upon us. And never again should other nations question whether such an attack on this country would be met with an overwhelming response. In a Pennsylvania battlefield just 90 miles from where so many Americans were murdered on 9/11, President Lincoln once said, "The world will little note nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here." Just like Gettysburg, the field in Shanksville is hallowed ground. It is where Flight 93 was brought down to earth, not by terrorists, but by those bravely resisting their evil intent. Its ground became sacred shortly after Todd Beamer's immortal words, "Let's roll," became the abbreviated Gettysburg Address for the war on terrorism. 9/11 ushered a new level of patriotism. Sales of American flags spiked as the stars and stripes were displayed on vehicles, outside of homes, and businesses everywhere. Many Americans still wear flag lapel pins. Funds were created to assist first responders and the children of those who lost their lives. The American Legion would soon establish its Legacy Scholarship Fund to provide educational opportunities for children of military members who died or were seriously disabled while serving in the global war on terrorism. Deborah Burlingame, an American patriot whose brother was killed in the attack on the Pentagon, wrote eloquently in the American Legion magazine, quote, "The flag spoke for us when we were bereft of words. It was our comfort and our rallying cry. America, America, God shed his grace on thee." And so we put them everywhere, on office buildings and storefronts, on cars and kids' bikes. The flag was sewn anew onto the uniforms of Major League Baseball players and emergency room nurses. It greeted us and lifted our spirits when we needed it most, appearing in improbable places, like on a highway overpass. That faded, dirty flag on I-95 pierces our hearts. Where have all the flags of September 11th gone? Unquote. It is up to us to answer that question. We see our flag and patriotism make their traditional comebacks on Memorial Day, the 4th of July, and Veterans Day. We experience brief moments of unity following horrific terrorist attacks such as what occurred at the Boston Marathon or the Pulse nightclub. We have been inspired by the service of healthcare workers, volunteers, and first responders throughout the COVID-19 pandemic. Yet those moments seem to be overshadowed by violence in our communities, vitriolic politics, and a questioning of America's role as a beacon of hope and freedom. What occurred on 9/11 was indeed tragic, but the legacy of those lost on that day need not be so. The nearly 3,000 men, women, and children who died that day were targeted for being American. Richard Santos was the national commander of the American Legion on September 11, 2001, and shortly after attacks, he penned a message that still resonates 2 decades later. America continues to heal, and it is our responsibility as veterans to tend to the wounds, he wrote. Some will panic about the future. We must reassure them. Some will weep over a lost family member or friend. We must hold their hands. Some will be angry. We must temper their rage, unquote. That, ladies and gentlemen, is a legacy that we can all create for those lost on 9/11. Healing, reassurance, and comfort. These qualities run counter to the inhumanity exhibited by a small group of terrorists that day. Combine these traits with a steadfast commitment to prepare and prevent future attacks, and we will truly be honoring all who were lost. We must never forget. God bless the brave souls of 9/11, and God bless America. Thank you.
Elgin Fire Chief Robert Sagan with the Patriot Remembrance Day bell ceremony.
The ringing of the bell holds significant importance in the fire service. It was the ringing of the bell that signaled the start of a firefighter's tour, and it was the bell that summoned them to a call. The bell has also been a long-standing tradition in memorializing firefighters who paid the supreme sacrifice. However, As we memorialize all those who were lost this day 23 years ago, each toll of the bell represents respect for the lost military personnel, the victims of the Twin Towers, the victims of the planes that hit the towers, the victims of the plane that crashed in a farm field near Shakesville, Pennsylvania, the victims from the plane that crashed into the Pentagon. And the last ring is to honor the emergency responders who died on September 11th, and for those first responders who died as a result of health issues they developed from working at Ground Zero in the ensuing weeks.
Elgin Police Chaplain Al Keating with the benediction.
Would you please join me in your own faith tradition as we pray? Most gracious God and Father, as we bring to a close this morning's ceremony, I thank all those here today in remembrance of the tragic events of September 11th so many years ago. I thank you, precious God, for your peace and comfort given to those who lost friends and loved ones on that fateful day, and for how you continue to give peace to those who seek it. I thank you for the courage displayed by those who, instead of thinking of their own safety, rushed in to help others in need. We have shed tears in a common bond of grief for those we loved and lost. We journeyed through a dark valley, but your light has led us to a place of hope that reflects the goodness in our world rather than the despair. You have turned our grief into determination. And so may we always be resolved to do what is good, what is right, and what is just. Help us to remember what it means to be Americans, a people endowed with abundant blessings. Help us to cherish the freedoms that we enjoy and inspire us to stand with courage, united as one nation in the midst of any adversity. And finally, Holy God, I pray that as we leave this solemn place of remembrance, that you will continue to bless us as bearers of goodwill. Bless and protect all who serve in uniform in our armed forces under the flag of the United States, and assuredly all those first responders, our police officers and firefighters, many of whom are here today. And in closing, God, help and bless our great country, the United States of America. In your holy name I pray. Amen.
Please stand for the retiring of the colors.
You're listening to live coverage from the Hemmons Auditorium in downtown Elgin. Right here on WRMN.
Part time. Mark. Detail. Halt. Right. Hey. Hurry there. Arms. All uniform members present arms. Order. Arms. All uniform members, order. Retreat. Coat. Detail. Halt. Retreat. Coat. Ready.
One step forward. Mark. Out forward. Face. Forward. Mark.
Thank you for attending our Patriot Day Remembrance Ceremony. This concludes the program. Thank you.
There you have it from the Hemmons Auditorium in downtown Elgin this morning. It's the Patriot Day Remembrance Ceremony right here for you on WRMN. And our thanks to the Elgin Fire Department for their allowing us to use their Facebook feed. Very well done. Very well done by the Elgin Fire Department and the City of Elgin on stage at the Hemmons this morning, paying proper tribute to 9/11. It is coming up on 9:30 here at WRMN. I think we might have a fresh newscast and sports for you here at the bottom of the hour. Got about a half hour left in the first shift, and then out to lunch comes your way at 10 with Matt. So stay tuned for that. It's a beautiful morning. I'll cue up a couple of songs, may share a little first shift 411 for you, and we'll hang together for another half hour or so. Then Matt's got his show. Tammy with her show. Talk time with Tammy and friends 2 until 4, and then a recap of last night's debate on the Apolitical Talk Show, part of Fox Valley Afternoons. Good morning.
With your 1410 WRMN Newsflash, I'm Sean Kernan. Brought to you by Linzess. This weekend, Elgin comes alive with the vibrant Fiesta de Elgin celebration honoring Mexican Independence Day and ushering in Hispanic Heritage Month. The festivities are set to transform downtown Elgin and Festival Park into a cultural spectacle. The Elgin City Council has streamlined the payment process for 3 key local taxes: motor fuel tax, hotel or motel rental tax, and the alcoholic liquor tax. The new system allows businesses to handle their obligations more conveniently via an online platform. In a thrilling display of talent and perseverance, Naperville North alumna Sarah Adam clinched a silver medal at the 2024 Paralympics in Paris. The monumental achievement followed her victory at the 2023 Parapan American Games. Competing in wheelchair rugby, Adam made history as the first woman on the U.S. Paralympic mixed team. With your 1410 WRMN Newsflash, I'm Sean Kernan.
The new John Deere Gator XUV lets you cut, pack, drive, scout, weld, stack, feed, pull, load, tow, spray, and haul, all in a single day. Because with the highest cargo box volume in its class, customizable features, and a towing capacity of up to 4,000 pounds, it gets the job done. You just have to get in the seat. Learn more at your John Deere dealer or visit johndeere.com/Gator XUV.
Progressive presents Renter's MVP's Most Valuable Possessions. Today's MVP, Tom Kelly's carbon fiber mountain bike. Because more than riding his carbon fiber mountain bike, Tom loves telling people about his carbon fiber mountain bike. Friends, family, even a local barista knows about his carbon fiber mountain bike. And that's why Tom's carbon fiber mountain bike, if you haven't heard about it, is today's MVP. Keep your most valuable possessions protected by bundling your renters and auto insurance with Progressive. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Progressive Insurance presents the Sports Flash on News Talk Radio 1410 WRMN. Major League Baseball, the Cubs defeated the LA Dodgers on Tuesday night 6-3, scoring 5 runs in the 8th inning. 3 of those runs came on Dodger errors. Seiya Suzuki with an RBI single. Pete Crow Armstrong had 2 RBIs. While the White Sox, they were shut out by the Cleveland Guardians. They lose 5-0. The White Sox committed 2 errors and were held to 5 hits in the loss. Lane Thomas with a 3-run home run for Cleveland. The Chicago Bears will be heading to Houston to take on the Texans Sunday night, coming off a Week 1 win against the Tennessee Titans where they did not score an offensive touchdown. The Bears may be without wide receiver Rome Odunze, who has suffered an MCL sprain and is week to week. Houston is coming off a Week 1 victory against the Indianapolis Colts. And in college football, Illinois will be home on Saturday at Memorial Stadium as they take on Central Michigan. Bundle auto and home, renters or condo, and save with Progressive. I'm Tony Desiri on News Talk Radio 1410 WRMN.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
From the pages of the Elgin newspapers of 100 years ago today, these are the headlines brought to you by the Elgin History Museum.
This is Alan Walters reporting the Elgin News from September 11th, 1924. The wrath of a woman scorned today suddenly terminated the liberty of Walter Pruitt, alias Walter Eldred, escaped convict from the Southern Illinois Penitentiary at Menard, where he had been serving a 1 to 10 year sentence for forgery. Pruitt is now on his way back to the cell from which he escaped in 1922 after he had served 1 year of his sentence. And today, Mrs. Julia Pruitt is repentant, sorry, and sad that in a fit of anger she had tipped police off to the fact that her husband was an escaped convict. On the other hand, Pruitt, disgusted because his wife has thus failed him and violated a confidence, as he terms it, states that he isn't at all sad to be going back to prison and leave his bride of a year ago. According to police, Mrs. Pruitt, living under the name of Mrs. Eldred, has repeatedly threatened her husband with exposure when he had erred in his conduct. Whatever it was to incite her to call the police and tip them off is a question the police don't profess to know. When the police appeared at her home at 215 1/2 Division Street, Mrs. Pruitt tearfully admitted that she had called the police, but then and there attempted to deny her story. Pruitt, surprised that his woman had tipped police off, immediately confessed and willingly gave himself up.
Elgin 100 Years Ago is a presentation of the Elgin History Museum. Be sure to visit the museum located at 360 Park Street in Elgin, open Wednesday through Saturdays 11 to 4. You can also listen to Elgin 100 Years Ago at www.elginhistory.org.
Thank you, Jerry Turnquist and Al Walters, great Elginians. Doing a great job co-delivering the Elgin History Moment from 100 years ago. Great people that helped make the Elgin History Museum what it is over at 360 Park Street. It's 9:36 here on the first shift. Thanks for hanging out with me, Marky B. I'll be with you for about 20-ish more minutes, and then coming up at 10, Matt's got out to lunch for you. Democracy Now! From 1 until 2. Talk Time with Tammy, 2 until 4. And Sonar and Bendamoni and Boquist, sometimes guests on their show. A political talk show. The two shows from 2 until 4 and 4 until 6, they make up Fox Valley Afternoons right here on WRMN. It is a Wednesday morning. Let's see. Tomorrow morning on the show, I don't have any guests scheduled for the 9 o'clock hour right now tomorrow morning, so we'll see if anything materializes. Maybe tomorrow becomes a more music hour, but there's still today, so you never know what might happen as far as scheduling somebody for 9 a.m. for a little while tomorrow morning. It's not a Kane County Speaks week this week. Brian Anderson returns next Thursday morning with his show, Kane County Speaks. If you want to hear some of what is going on at the Kane County board meetings from Brian's perspective, he's very, very active now. He's only been for a couple of years, and he's thrust himself into the local political scene. He's not a guy that wants to be a candidate. He just wants to help inform the public that they should be informed about what's happening at the Kane County board meetings. Thanks again to State's Attorney Jamie Mosser for being with me yesterday morning and
Corinne Pirog for being with Sonar yesterday afternoon on his show, A Political Talk Show. It's 9:38. On Friday morning here on the program, of course, we'll have a person you just heard from the Hemmons, Elgin Police Chief Anna Lally. She's got her show on Friday morning from 9 until 9:30. And then Steve Thoren's in with his show, the Senior Community Spotlight Show, followed by Music Memories, brought to you by Oakcrest from 10 until 11. That's all a part of the Friday morning show. Larry and Jakes are in. Tim Calderwood from the Schaumburg Boomers. Not talking Boomers baseball anymore. Their season is over. But we'll talk a little Major League Baseball playoffs as we get closer to it. Most of our Friday time now will be spent on the Pick Six in the NFL for quite some time. Stay tuned for more information at the end of this hour on the Pick Six. 9:39, what a beautiful day it is outside. Current forecast here in the Fox River Valley. We're looking at about 64 degrees here in Elgin. Winds are out of the south at 5 miles an hour. Mostly sunny today with a high of 85. Tonight still nice cool overnight low of 54. Tomorrow mostly sunny with a high of 86. Down to 60 tomorrow night, then looking at Friday mostly cloudy with a high of 82. Saturday and Sunday staying on the warm side but not hot. 82 for Saturday, 83 for Sunday. We're approaching mid-September. This morning, the 11th of September. Thanks again to the Elgin Fire Department for their permission to use their Facebook feed this morning. Live from the Hemmons, that worked out well. There was a couple of little glitches early in the broadcast with the stream, but that happens on streams sometimes, but it was very minor, and for the most part, a very good quality broadcast that they did a nice job working the camera on, and we were able to show it to you on our YouTube this morning. WRMN Radio on YouTube. One of the great things that we have going here at WRMN, our ability to YouTube events, whether we're doing the event live or we can carry it from somebody else covering the event live. Part of what we're doing to celebrate 75 years moving forward here at WRMN. And yesterday we officially kicked off our 75th year. And the immediate plans, extended live programming. We're already on pretty much 6 to 6, Monday through Friday. Democracy Now! For 1 hour, 1 to 2, but that can be lifted on days when we have local coverage we want to stick with or go to. A revival of sports coverage here on the station, the Fox River Sports Network. Marcus Mack kind of leading the way, and we had Jeff Myers back in the fold a little bit, doing some high school football for us. Marcus will have his show Saturday mornings from 10 until 12. Rise Above? No, that's not the name of it. Well, we have another sports show from 8 until 10 Saturday mornings, and so 4 hours of sports coverage every Saturday morning. From 8 until 12 now here on WRMN. A great way to kick off the sports weekend if you're a sports fan. Also on WRMN, digital innovation. WRMN has embraced modern technology. We're not just the old blowtorch AM dial anymore. We offer live streaming via YouTube, effectively transforming into a multimedia platform. Most broadcasts are archived for on-demand viewing. And, of course, listeners can tune in worldwide through the WRMN mobile app, ensuring crystal clear reception across the globe. You're a snowbird, you go to Florida, you can keep up with what's happening in the Fox River Valley by listening to our app or YouTube feed. You'll probably see the power of our YouTube page a little bit coming up on Friday. We do not have Talk Time with Tammy's on Friday. Occasionally we might play a best of. But other times when we can fill that 2 to 4 slot with something else in place of Tammy doing a live show, she's going to be on Monday through Thursdays. Friday kind of a wild card, and we can do whatever with the 2 to 4 time slot as we want. And this Friday could be a little bit of fun, and again could feature our YouTube page playing front and center. Because coming up at 2 o'clock Friday afternoon, the High Haven brand new dispensary is coming to downtown Elgin. And they're going to have a ribbon cutting over at the Clock Tower Plaza. That's where High Haven is going to be located. The grand opening is 9 to 5, Saturday, September the 21st. But we're going to have a grand opening ribbon cutting event on this Friday. This Friday at 2 o'clock, a ribbon cutting event. So if you want to stop by and see what High Haven is all about, we're going to cover that for you, I believe, beginning at 2 o'clock on Friday afternoon. We're going to carry our little remote kit over there and broadcast the ribbon cutting and maybe get a preview of what High Haven is going to be about. It's a dispensary featuring local cultivators, let's say. And it's happening, the ribbon cutting on Friday. Also on Friday, I believe during Tammy's normal show from 2 until 4, Fox Valley Afternoons, Beth Drendel is going to come by the radio station. Beth is with Kane County Emergency Management. This month, September, is National Preparedness Month. What does that mean exactly? Well, you should get prepared, right, for bad weather events. What else? I don't know. That's why Beth's coming in. Beth's going to tell us all about it on Friday afternoon. And I think she may have a presentation for us. She puts on presentations from Kane County Emergency Management. Due to our technology and our ability to show things on YouTube, she can do a presentation on the air. And we can show you the slides or whatever she wants to feature, and would normally feature like on a video screen. We can put it on our YouTube page. So it'll be a fun little experimentation time. Experimenting with the High Haven Dispensary first, and then experimenting maybe with a Kane County Emergency Management presentation on air. Talk Time with Tammy Monday through Thursday. Now Fridays becomes a little bit of a wild card in that 2 to 4 time slot, and we'll make the most of it every week and do the best we can to give you a good quality Friday afternoon show too. So that's happening on Friday. And also happening on Friday, we are going to have Andrew Sosnowski in. You might be getting familiar with the name. Drew is running for Kane County State's Attorney against Jamie Mosser. Listen to what Jamie had to say yesterday on my show. He's got some thoughts, as you might imagine. He's running against Jamie. And Sonar, I mentioned Drew to Sonar, and I said, would you like to have him on your show? And Sonar came up with a good idea. He's calling his afternoon show Free Speech Fridays on Apolitical Talk Show. Now, we know Drew Sosnowski, or I do at least, pretty chatty guy, pretty knowledgeable guy, an attorney, and now he's running for Kane County State's Attorney. So Sonar said on Free Speech Friday, or Spee-Freech Friday, you decide, that if Drew wants to be on the show, he could be on the entire show with Sonar. So a chance for you really to get to meet Drew Sosnowski and maybe get to know him a little bit. Phone lines will be open. Comments will be taken. Drew's opinions will be given. And Sonar, who's very intelligent, will be able to go toe-to-toe and have a good conversation with Drew on Friday. It's 4 until 6, part of Apolitical Talk Show. And that's so Friday's going to be a good day. Every day's a good day, but Friday's going to be a good day with some extra features here on WRMN. It is 9:47 here on the first shift. All right, what else can I do here? This is just kind of settled into a first shift 411 segment a little bit, but that's okay because there's some things that I didn't get to share earlier this morning that I want to share, and now I have an opportunity to. I wanted to mention this morning all of the 9/11 ceremonies going on here locally. A few of those took place this morning. There are a few more this evening. One is actually going on in about 45 minutes if you're in the Elgin area and you want to cruise on over to Elgin Community College. From 10:30 until 11 this morning, outside of Building B on the Elgin Community College campus's main campus at 1700 Spartan Drive. People will gather to pay respect, remember the impact of the day, and unite in a shared commitment to resilience and peace. Visit elgin.edu for more. But it's about 10:30 until 11, so if you're in the area, you want to stop by and be a part of that remembrance event, you can. Tonight in Gilbert's, they're going to have a program. It's the 9/11 Time of Remembrance program at St. Peter Lutheran Church, Galligan Road, Gilbert's. The actual address is 18 North, 377, Galligan. It will be followed by a dessert reception open to the community. Visit St. Peter Lutheran Gilbert's on Facebook for more. That's St. Peter Lutheran Gilbert's. Streamwood tonight, 7 o'clock. The Veterans Memorial at 301 East Irving Park Road. The Veterans Memorial Commission with the Streamwood Police and Fire Departments have a remembrance plan for the innocent victims, civilians, police officers, firefighters, and emergency medical personnel who perished on September 11, 2001. Go to streamwood.org for more information on that. So that's still to come tonight when it comes to 9/11. Now, there are a couple of weekend events where we're going to celebrate around here. One is right here in downtown Elgin. It's the big Mexican Independence Day celebration. La Fiesta de Elgin. Is that how you say Elgin in that language? Elgin? It's 3 until 8 Friday in downtown Elgin and 5 until 10 Saturday in the evening at Festival Park. 132 South Grove Avenue, Mexican Independence Day celebration brings together community partners including the Gale Borden Public Library, Centro de Informacion, the Elgin Hispanic Network, and Friends of the Masons. On Friday, events include cultural performances, a car show, and a retail vendor market as a part of La Fiesta de Elgin. And Saturday returns the Hispanic Heritage Caravan at noon. It's like a parade, I think. Interactive props, food and drink vendors, fireworks, and live music from DJ Eddie and P. Banda Panasco de Zacatecas. Getting pretty deep here. I'm not sure I can go any further with this reading without beginning to screw up. Los Cementales de Nuevo León, La Potencia de la Música Nortina, and Banda La Sinaloense. How did I do? How did I do?
Surely you can't be serious. I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
I tried.
Whatever.
Thought I did okay.
Whatever.
La Fiesta de Elgin this Friday from 3 to 8 and Saturday night from 5 until 10. Here in downtown Elgin, basically a festival park. This is an Elgin event, a City of Elgin event, so go to elginil.gov/2025/la-fiesta. Just go to elgin.gov. Surf around, you'll find it. Heritage Fest Saturday and Sunday in West Dundee. 6 to 11 Friday night. 10 a.m. to 11 p.m. Saturday. And 10 a.m. to 5 on Sunday. It's a weekend celebration in the West Dundee. And I'm sure in East Dundee too. It's the annual festival fireworks show, 8 o'clock Friday night. Dundee Lions 5K and the 1.75 mile walk, 8 a.m. Saturday. Arts and Crafts Fair from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Saturday and 10 to 5 on Sunday. Car show from our boy, the car czar, John Polero. 10:30 until 4 Saturday and Sunday. I love the way the car show there is lined up. It's great. And I think the hippie van's going to make an appearance. More than likely Saturday. Probably on Saturday. Business Expo and community breakfast from 8 to 11 a.m. Music from one of the boys at 6:30 p.m. in Ara. I love Aura. They're going to play what day? 9 p.m. on Friday. Aura Friday night at 9 p.m. May have to go to that. Let's see. Saturday morning, it all starts with the Dundee Scottish Pipe Band at 10 a.m. They're fun. Doc Diamond at noon. The Bishop Super Band at 1:30. Brandon Reisdorf Quartet, 3 o'clock. Controlled Burn at 4:30. The Chris Moreno Band at 6:30. And the Modern Day Romeos at 9. That's on Saturday. Lenny's are the featured band on Sunday. The Lenny's are on from 3 until 5. Go to wdundeeheritagefest.org for more information. That's W as in West. DundeeHeritageFest.org. That's a fun event. It's coming up all weekend in West Dundee, and it'll spill on over into East Dundee, too. Lots of great places to hang out in East Dundee. We spend some time there on a fairly regular basis. And if you're a jazz person, St. Charles has a big jazz weekend coming up. At different St. Charles venues, jazz performances. The Dance Lab hosts a free swing group class at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. On Saturday at First Street Plaza in St. Charles, the North Jazz Workshop with special guest Derek Gardner at noon. And St. Charles East Jazz Workshop with special guest Jimmy Faraci at 2 p.m. If you're a jazz fan, maybe you know some of these names. Frank Catalano, the Andy Schlinder Duo, 10 Cat Swing, Paul Abella Trio, Harry Tonchev Trio, Neil Alger Duo, the Terry Bartolato Duo, Jack Macklin. The list goes on and on. You can go to stcjazzweekend.com to find out more. stcjazzweekend.com. All right, 9:55, so that's quite a bit. Let me just mention this also, because this is actually today, kind of an odd day for it, but the Kane County Animal Control is hosting their 2024 low-cost drive-through rabies vaccine and microchip clinic. Easy for me to say. It's this afternoon from 4:30 until 7, and it is at 4060 Kesslinger Road in Geneva. The Kane County Animal Control is offering rabies vaccines and microchipping for your pets. If you're a senior, 65 years old and older or better, your pet's rabies vaccine is only $15. If you have any questions, call this phone number, 630-232-3555. 630-232-3555, and it's this afternoon in Geneva at 4060 Kesslinger Road. It's the final one before October the 5th, so the next one after today, 4:30 until 7, will be Saturday, October the 5th, so keep that in mind. We'll let you know about that as we get closer to it. All right, I am down to my final couple of minutes here. Matt's going to come in next with some more great information between 10 and 1. You never know when he brings a guest on. I just have another minute or two for a couple of more quick announcements involving local politicians. Tomorrow night at the Dundee Library at 555 Barrington Avenue at 6 o'clock, Suzanne Ness will be there with a resolute presentation to local author Phil Aleo. For more information, call the library, in East Dundee. Earlier this year, in Springfield, Ness presented Mr. Aleo with House Resolution 784 when several of his works were given to the Illinois State Library to be placed in the Illinois Authors Room. The phone number to call for more information is 224, this is Suzanne's number, Suzanne Ness's office, 224-484-8620. 224-484-8620. And coming up Saturday at the Raycow Branch Library here in Elgin, Senator or State Representative Dan Ugasti, who was in the dunk tank for a little while at our First Responders Fest Saturday, is actually going to be hosting a shred event. It is this Saturday morning from 9 until 11 at the Raycow Branch Join your local legislator, Dan Ugasti, for a free paper shredding event and food drive, too. Bring your documents to be shredded and your non-perishable food items for collection. We won't shred the food items. They can go to good use. It's this Saturday morning at the Raycow branch, thanks to State Representative Dan Ugasti. And thanks to Dan for being in our dunk tank, too, and being a good sport about that this past Saturday. This event's 9 to 11 this Saturday. All right, how about that for some slam-packed information for the last 15, 20 minutes? I figured it was a good time and a good way to end the show. Coming up next, Matt's going to have more great information on his show. It's called Out to Lunch, 10 until 1. Talk Time with Tammy, 2 until 4. And a debate recap with Sonar and Ben, 4 until 6. Have a great day. Enjoy this great warm weather. Keep it here.
Over the years, you've brought them into your home. You were prescribed opioids after the C-section. When Dad injured his back. When your basketball star tore his AC.